Give me 1 second, guys. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Comment section. Can hear me, type 1. If you can't hear me, type the number 2. Okay. Hear me. Good. Damn, we got 130 in the room already. Up night. We are covering the AFC South matchup between the Houston Texans hosting the Indianapolis Colts. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited for it. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, if you have an Apple iPhone, download the Hot Mic app. Utilize the promo code Adonis. Watch me live on Hot Mic. Also, they've incorporated a new feature to the Hot Mic app, the live chat room. So not only will we be chatting here on YouTube, not only responding to live tweets on Twitter, also, I'm going to try my best, or more importantly, it's imperative that I speak with the chat room live on Hot Mic too. So this is going to be a very fun stream. If you have never tuned in before, you're in for quite the treat. Very interactive show, live commentary. No longer do you have to listen to Joe Buck. You don't got to listen to Troy Aikman on commentary. You listen to your favorite commentator. That is the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. All right, just making sure we can get all the things lined up behind the scenes, and then we can get all things going. Um, I'll go around. I'll give everybody a shout out. I will be right back in 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes. Bear with me. I got to get my light situation fixed up for you. Right. Okay. Centered. All right. Can you hear me clearly again? A little bit of a test. Make sure I got the audio all sounding well. All right. You hear me crystal clear. All right. That's good. Let me go down the list. We got a good number of people in the chat room on YouTube. We've got 147 in the building. We'll go down the line, give a couple of people shouts out. First and foremost, click that like button if you haven't. And once again, before I get to the shout outs, if you have an Apple iPhone, download that Hot Mic app. Utilize the promo code Adonis. It's invite only, so you can't get on the app if you don't use the promo code Adonis. You get on there, you listen to me, you sync the app to your television. That way you can hear me instead of having to hear Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on commentary. More importantly, we've got a live chat room over there, so get ready to interact. Okay. All right, it'll be on the web and soon. Okay, so most likely, okay, because I have Android. So unfortunately, I won't be able to talk to you on the chat room on Hot Mic. But most likely, what will happen is, if anything, if you still do want to chat, reach out to me either via Twitter or on YouTube. We'll talk back and forth. And for those of you guys who are on Hot Mic, what you can do is you can have it on your phone listening to me. And if you want to interact and chat, write me on the YouTube chat room. We're going to have the Android app in a month or so. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, first and foremost, we've got Benson Felipe in the house. Oh, he said Sac passe bleu de femme. Wow, my man. What's going on, fellow Haitian as well? Makboule, okay. We got Danica in the house. We've got ZJ13 Goat in the house. I am doing spectacular. Not so much. I got a little bit of motion sickness in my Uber on my way over here. Gaming God, Snowbeam, TJ Singh, Clayton, Cragen. All right. Black Christ is in the building. Kevin, Jonathan, Kramer, Yang Vang, always in the house. Xavier Rhodes, that's a funny name. I know a player in the NFL named Xavier Rhodes. I don't know him, but I know of him. All right, we got Osvaldo Razo, Josiah, Amir, Andrew, Nightly 123, Dominique, Corey Cox, Ty Graham, Matt Thomas, Jaylon's in the house, Darnell's in the house, or I should say Darrell is in the house. And ladies and gentlemen, we are live on Hot Mic. So if you got that iPhone, go live with me on Hot Mic as we speak, and click that doggone like button. All right, Popeye's chicken sandwich is in the house, but not in my mouth. I could use a sandwich right now. Hugh Davidson. Griffin is in the building. Angelo is in the building. Dominic Elliott is in the building. Terrell Blunt is in the building. Joey the Goat is in the building. Candace Leach is in the building, always showing love. Kevin is in the building. Lit Seahawks is in the building. Deshaun is in the house. Hello to you too. J Prime in the building. Bum is in the building. Random Things, Dreadlock Roster, RJ Johnson, Big Pimpin' TV, Gaming Heights. And coming onto the field is Deshaun Watson. So I guess, as NFL Network would say, the Houston Texans are coming out of the tunnel for tonight's big game. Now, I'll say this much. In the chat room, feel free to give your prediction right here. I have the, who did I pick? Was it the Colts or the Texans? I think I chose the Colts to win this game. Can't go because there was injury. Yes, it was. I chose the Colts to win this game. Why? Because of the injuries to the Texans secondary. Now, we did see 3 defensive backs that got hurt this past game, in which the Texans got absolutely decimated by the Baltimore Ravens. Now, as for what their availability is going to be for this particular game, I believe 1 is out. The other 2 might just be playing. But I saw that yesterday, so I have no confirmation of what transpired. But from where I'm standing right now, I got the Colts winning this game on the road. T.Y. Hilton is back. And when he plays against the AFC South, for some apparent reason, he knows how to ball. So he's going to utilize his dreadlock powers. But I do expect DeAndre Hopkins to show up and show out. I've got the Colts winning this game. Score prediction. Man, these past couple Thursday night games have been good. The last one with the whack-a-mole experience between the Browns and the Steelers was low scoring. Where can I predict right now to score? I would say, I'm feeling maybe about 4 touchdowns coming from Houston. So if I'm feeling 4 from Houston, I'd probably have to get 5 from Indianapolis. Let's go 35-28. No, you know what? Adam Vinatieri's on the field, and old man Adam, he's going to put up some field goals. So you can't ignore that. Let's go 34-27. I'm going 34-27, 1 touchdown spread. I don't think there's going to be a situation in which it's not a bigger distance than a touchdown spread. I'm leaning towards Indianapolis. I got them winning the game. Iron Knuckle B put $2 on it. Said, Nick Folk commentating with you. Go Colts. Well, I'll tell you this much. Nick Folk will not be near me. If Nick Folk was commentating with me, you'd see him somewhere near the left or somewhere near the right because that's the only place that he goes. But evidently, he's perfect right now with New England. Ridiculous. All right, let's take a look at Twitter, see what's going on over there. As OJ would say, hey, Twitter world, let's see what's going on. If anybody's tuned in, let the people know we are going. David Davidson, that's a double David. Oh, he says Texans all day. Hoodie Zay says, yes, sir, he's in the building. Sensational. And feel free to live tweet me as we go. Comment in the comment section how you feel, who you got winning. Game is starting momentarily. Stay tuned for that. I am excited for what's going to transpire this past, weekend for this game, or more importantly, for Week 12. I am extremely ecstatic and excited for it. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman talking to the people, but nobody wants to hear Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. They're boring. Joe Buck could be watching the Super Bowl, not even the Super Bowl. Joe Buck could be watching, let's say, Ali versus Tyson in their prime, and he'll somehow make that boring. You don't want to hear Joe Buck. You want to hear the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. So if you had that iPhone, you could go and download the Hot Mic app from the App Store. Use the promo code Adonis. Tune in live to me on, Hot Mic. And then from that point, you just engage in the experience. And in a month, when we get the Android thing going, then we'll take this to the top. Because when we say that right now, we are the highest subscribed broadcaster on Hot Mic, or highest follower. I believe it goes by follow. Highest follower. So my goal is, I want to be what Ninja was to Twitch. I want to be what PewDiePie is to YouTube. I want to be what King Batch was to Vine. And that's what I'm fixing to be to Hot Mic. Because when it comes to this commentating game, nobody does it better. Nobody. So let's go on this journey together. All right, Popeye's Chicken Sandwich says, how do I take the commentary off the Fire Stick or Fire Stick Prime? Well, if you're watching it on Fire Stick, I do not think you'll be able to sync it together. So what you can do is just mute that television and just hear me on the playback. I think that's the best idea to do that. Brennan says T.Y. Hilton loves Houston. Well, I'm sure that he does. He's going to love that end zone too. R.J. Smith says Joe makes climax boring. I'm pretty sure that he does. Could you imagine? There's quite the tangent on a conversation. Damn it, we're going there. Imagine Joe Buck intimate with his wife. Dude, I am enjoying this. Do you feel that? First down, Colts. Now, it's not going to go well. You're not going to enjoy your time. Joe Buck's wife, I apologize for this man's actions. But I'm sure you love him. Seems like a very nice man. But we ain't talking about that right now. Ooh, that took a tangent. All right. Joey the Goat says, best commentator out there. I appreciate you, brother. Holtz Nation says, please don't let me down. Indy, it's my birthday today. That'd be unfortunate if they lost. But shout out to Colts Nation in the chat room. Happy birthday to you. Let me just type that to you there, brother. Happy birthday to you. I'd count RU1, RU2, but I'd keep counting, and by the time you respond, I think I'd be by 76, and I'd highly doubt that's your age. That one guy, 123, says his birthday is tomorrow. Well, happy early birthday to you. You've been a common staple in the chat room. Hoodie Zay asked me on Twitter, thoughts on Survivor Series. I love the Survivor Series this particular year. I expect it to be extremely, expecting it to be extremely exciting. Oh, and on the screen, you see T.Y. Hilton warming up. He's got 46 catches for over 1,000 yards and 7 TDs against Houston. What does that mean? The man balls when he plays against them. And I believe that was in 8 games. But yeah, for Survivor Series, I'm ecstatic. I am happy. I am ready to go. Hopefully on Sunday I can get the commentary and everything finished in time so I can stream, the Survivor Series along with what's transpiring on Sunday Night Football. But what we're getting ready to see is that kickoff to kick off this AFC South matchup where both teams are knotted at 6-4. So this is all for supremacy in the AFC South. And here we go, Kaimi Fairbairn to kick the ball off to the Colts, and we are off on Thursday Night Football live in Hold My Nugget Studios, although this is a different sort of studio, for your 2019 NFL Week 12 Thursday Night Football game highlight commentary live from, well, it's not NRG Stadium now. What is the stadium named in Houston? Whatever the case may be, we are down in H-Town as the Houston Texans host the Indianapolis Colts, being led by Jacoby Brissett, who is 4-0 against the Texans. If I'm not mistaken, whatever the case may be, we've got a battle of Negro quarterbacks. All right, as Brissett takes on Watson. Now, I'll say this much about the Colts offensive line. We all know of Quentin Nelson and how he balls and how he plays. I expect this Colts team to come out and throw the football. Why? Because Marlon Mack did fracture his hand the last game, and I do not believe he's playing. Opening play, hand off to the running back. He picks up 2 yards. If I'm remembering correctly, that should be Williams. Yes, indeed it is. He picks up 2 yards, setting up 2nd and 8. The Colts offense is 21st total offense, 4th when it comes to running the ball, and somewhere when it comes to passing the ball. And all I know is that passing the ball is not 4th. I expect the dreadlock powers to be activated tonight. I expect to see big-time highlights from T.Y. Hilton, and what they should do is get to him early and get to him often. If you're looking on your screen right now, you should see Jacoby Brissett in shotgun, sending Chester Rogers in motion. Yet another handoff to Williams. It seems that they feel as if they can run effectively against this Texans front, and evidently on 2 runs, they've had positive, yardage. And the Texans defense missing J.J. Watt, and they desperately wish that they did have him, but they do not. That's something that can affect them moving forward, especially in this playoff push. They're going to wish that they had him, but of course for JJ, my pectoral, it is not intact. Jacoby Brissett in the shotgun once again, trips bunch to his right, takes the snap on 3rd and 4, dumps the ball off for the 3rd consecutive play. The ball is in the hand of Williams, but this time he is moving the chains. Somebody saying I'm delayed. Is that right? Interesting. 25. Okay, you're ahead by 10 seconds. This is bizarre. All right, let's see what is happening here. I'm behind. Very interesting. Okay, we'll see when it goes to commercial break. I'll see what's going on over there. But 1st and 10 for the Texans. Oh, pardon me. I said the Texans. 1st and 10 for the Colts from the 40. Jacoby Brissett takes the snap, tossed over to Williams. He's going to be stopped for a loss of what appears to be 5, setting up 2nd and 15 for those Indianapolis Colts. So I'll tell you this much. I expected a lot for them coming into this season, but then with the loss of Lucky Charms man in Andrew Luck, that was rather unfortunate that he was not there for them trying to advance and get to where they wanted to go, given that you saw them get to the playoffs. And now things are up in the air. A lot of people have question marks about Jacoby Brissett. How good is he? So we'll find out how good he is this season. And thus far, he's been playing, exceptional outside of those couple of games in which he was not there because he was hurt. Play action fake. Rolling towards his right. He'd escape one Texan. He'd tell that man to give him his ankles. He'd slide for the 1st down. See, somebody told me it was 3rd and 6 a little bit earlier. I see I am behind. I will be fixing that once we get to the first commercial break. Frank Reich, in his 2nd season as the Colts head coach, he's 16 wins, 10 loss. All right, that's not bad. That's over 500. He's doing his job. Anybody who remembers Frank Reich, he was this who led one of the greatest playoff comebacks, in my opinion, the greatest playoff comeback. Sorry, Patriots fans, but that Oilers blowing the 34-3 lead or 20, yeah, I believe it was 34-3 lead to the Buffalo Bills. That was ridiculous. I did not see that one coming. Jacoby Brissett sacked, and it appears the Colts will be punting. Back to the Texans. Okay, I am delayed by a lot. All right, okay, all right. Let's get this fixed. Figure out exactly what's transpiring over here. A lot of people telling me I'm delayed. Let's figure out exactly why that is. Move this thing backwards to where it got to go. But it was 35-3 was the comeback, correct? Yes, indeed. That was indeed what it was. It was 35-3. And that's not where you want to be. You find yourself in a deficit where you're down 35-3. A lot of teams, or I should say a lot of players, would immediately quit on their team. They would feel as if, you know what, I cannot trust my quarterback. I can't trust my running backs. I can't trust my offense. I do not believe they'll be able to pull themselves out of whatever hole they may be in. So most times they end up giving up on their chances of coming back, and it's really unfortunate. But Frank Reich was able to pull out a W out of his keister and got them way back into the game. Nobody really saw it coming, I'll tell you that much. Nobody believed that they'd be able to come back, but that's exactly what it is that they did. They came back and they won that game. Baylor blowing a 28-3 lead. Yes, indeed. That was something, wasn't it? Seeing Baylor blow that 28-3 lead, and Atlanta tweeted out that it was they tweeted out that they had the face palm because they can relate blowing that lead that they had in Super Bowl 51. Honestly, Atlanta can't figure out a way to win Super Bowl games. I'm not sure what the deal is. They lost against the Broncos with who was that safety? I forget what the safety's name was, but blew the game, running his mouth, and then ultimately, not. I believe it was something with prostitution that was after the game, right before the game. Yes, it was. Luke Hollingsworth says 35-3 was at a playoff game. Wild card, 1993. It was wild. Nobody saw that one coming. It was something that people did. It's something people will never forget. I'll say that much. People will never forget about that loss because it was absolutely breathtaking to see that Bills team come back from where they were without Jim Kelly running the K gun. So who saw that coming? Nobody. All right, here we have the Texans on the field. Did you notice Riveron was using an Xbox controller? Yes, I did. When I was doing the video earlier, if you had not checked it out, for what the hell is a pass interference call in the NFL? Al Riveron explaining exactly what it was, which it was utter rubbish. And it's ridiculous because every single week we see teams get screwed over with what pass interference is. You'll have the referee call a call. All of a sudden, a team will challenge, and for some apparent reason, they will not overturn it. Only 4.9% of pass interference calls have been overturned. And ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the Hot Mic app as well as YouTube as well. But if you have an iPhone, feel free to download that Hot Mic app to where we are streaming live and utilize the promo code Adonis. Watch me live over there. Sync it up with your television. You don't got to listen to Joe Buck, nor do you have to listen to Troy Aikman. And on the screen, we are introducing the Houston Texans offense. Will Fuller is back. So there's multiple dreadlock powers on the field. Along with DeAndre Hopkins, you have Will Fuller, and Deshaun Watson in the land where black names matter somehow finds his way to the football but does not pick up any sort of yardage. He'd be stopped for no gain in this AFC South matchup. Now, I'll tell you this much. When Peyton Manning was playing, the Colts owned that AFC South division. Nobody came close to, defeating the Colts. I believe they had 7 consecutive seasons in which they had more than 12 wins, which was something extremely ecstatic for Colts fans. I loved Peyton Manning. He was my favorite quarterback of all time. So seeing those guys flourish, it really did something for me. And then the Texans coming in 2002 and David Carr being the face of that franchise, ultimately passing that moniker to Andre Johnson because, if in my opinion, he's the greatest Texan of all time. Watson would connect with, I believe that's Fells, moving the chains for the Houston Texans on 3rd and 9. Let's see. Danica Stuck says, screw Xbox. We Pats fans play PlayStation, Sony Michelle. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, they do. Okay. Evan says, I think you're good now. Magnificent. Oh, good Lord. I have some sort of thing in my stomach holding me down right now. First and 10 for the Houston Texans. Hand off to Kiki Cootie, picking up what would appear to be 6 yards, setting up 2nd and 4. Houston trades this year. Hold me one second. For your mic though, if you
Got you. I should be in there now. Okay. In the sources, yes. Yeah, I've switched it over to the Sennheiser. Yes. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. No problem. Later. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Sorry about that. Oh, good Lord. Oh boy. Yeah, I took a Uber earlier. For some apparent reason, I think I have some sort of undiagnosed motion sickness. I feel extremely nauseous for some apparent reason, but there were a little bit of technical difficulties. Hopefully everything sounds better now. Let me know if I sound great or better than I was before. Hit 1 if you can hear me, and knock on wood if you're with me. Can you hear that? I'm knocking on wood. Matter of fact, I'll get a little bit close to the mic. I'm knocking on wood. Knock on wood if you're with me. All right. Punt going back to the Colts. Wow. Is that Chester Rogers who just got blown up? Yes, indeed it is. Man got absolutely destroyed, but there's a flag on the play. Most likely it's going to be running into the kicker, but given it was 4th and 10, it's not really going to result in an automatic first down. So it'll probably only be 5 yards, but we'll see what transpires. And there's laundry on the field. You're darn tootin' right, GC Spectral Umbreon. There's a very interesting. Is that one of the newer sort of Pokemon? I am unaware. Trevor Awesome says, amazing channel from B-More. I've been a fan for a little over a year. Even though you're a Steelers fan, I watch all your reaction videos, and I love how non-biased you are. Keep up the great work. Well, I appreciate you, Trevor. I truly do. You mean a lot. Every single person who supports me, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Let's take a look at what is happening on Twitter. Okay. We've got Moody Booty says he's stoked for another big game. No doubt this game with playoff implications. And, of course, it's better to watch with the Chiseled Adonis. I appreciate you, brother. Amar Singh says there are tiers of dreadlock powers. I think Hopkins is more impressive than T.Y.'s. I would agree. Hopkins is a 2-time reigning, defending, dreadlocks MVP. Brennan McKinney says he's new to the channel. He already loves it. I appreciate you for tuning in, Brennan. You take a look at what's happening on the field. There was the punt with 6:40 left to play. We are still scoreless in Houston. Jeff says download the latest from the App Store to get the chat. Damian says, do you watch any AEW? I do. I watched a couple of episodes, maybe 2. Thus far, I saw Cody Rhodes' latest promo that he had, or I should say the promo prior to his fight against Jericho. That was very, very passion-laced. His father would be proud of him. Juice says, I feel like you've answered this question, but have you considered coaching on Twitter? Well, I'll say this much. I don't think I'd be able to coach. I don't have the patience. Because you got to work your way up the ladder. You can't just walk into an NFL office, especially if you don't have connections. Now, if you got connections, then absolutely. But you can't. You're not going to be able to just walk into an NFL office and just take a coaching job. So I'd probably have to work up the ladder from high school, college, then get to the league. But I do have extensive football knowledge. But then having to pair that with other coaches that are there. If anything, I would say I would be a offensive assistant. Although I would rather go along the lines of defense, I'd rather be more in control of what it is that I'm doing, because defense is very reactionary. Like, you can go and say, I'm going to attack, the opposing team, but most times it's, all right, I know you do this, so to counteract of you doing this, I'll do this. Offense, it's the defense got to conform. Now, sometimes there are situations where you can play against a certain defense. They're going to do something, so you got to try to counteract that. So I have like an offensive mind to where I know how to work my way through defense. So I'd probably be like an offensive sort of a coach there. But I don't know if I'd ever consider actually coaching seriously. I'd be an advisor. I'd do that much. Clayton Cragen says, I would be a kicker coach. Let me tell you something. I would not. Because people like to bring in guests when they're coaches, and I'm telling you this much. If somebody says, hey, and coming to our Kickers Academy is Nick Folk, I think I might lose my mind. Remember how Brock Lesnar felt after he got cashed in on at WrestleMania 31 and he started suplexing and F5ing referees? I think that would be me. I'd F5 referees for their officiating of what's been happening thus far this season. But you bring in Nick Folk, somebody's going to get F5'd. Evan asked me, who is my defensive player of the year right now? That is a very good question. I would probably have to say it's a toss-up between Stephon Gilmore, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Nick Bosa. Probably those three. I feel like I'm overlooking somebody. But we've got a repunt from the Texans back to the Colts. 6:40 left to play. Score is still scoreless. Chester Rogers to receive. Jerry asked, why did I start this channel? Well, when I got into stand-up comedy, I figured, hey, I went and I performed. I was in front of maybe 20 people when I posted my very first video on Facebook, and the punt will be fielded at the 1-yard line. Sensational job from the Texans to keep the Colts inside the 5. But when I started with comedy, I performed in front of 20 people. It was my very first open mic. But I posted my very first, not YouTube video, but Facebook video, and I had 1,000 views. So I said, okay, wait a minute. I can reach more people online. So I started the channel there, and I started with different sort of vlogs that I had going on, and then ultimately here we are. And the vlogs did not work out. It took about a year and a half trying to figure myself out, and then bam, here comes the commentary, and then I became more comfortable on camera, and then the rest is history. But, the foot touched out of bounds. Did it? I see space in between. But he did go out of bounds. Well, he stepped into the end zone first, then stepped back in. It's 1st and 10. Evidently, it will be a touchback. King Art says, who are my top 5 Steelers quarterbacks? Well, Big Ben, Terry Bradshaw, Cordell Stewart, and then nobody else really matters. I guess, first and foremost, from the 1. Oh, wow, it's 1st and 10 from the 1. I thought it was going to be a touchback. Well, there it is. Jacoby Brissett would find Nyheim Hines, and it's a 6-yard gain, or 5-yard gain at that. And here we got a couple of players to watch. DeAndre Hopkins, T.Y. Hilton. Both these, I'm telling you, the Dreadlock Powers is going to be on fire tonight. In 12 games for Hopkins, he's had 71 catches and 4 TDs. In 15 games for Hilton against Houston, he had 82 catches and 10 TDs. And we cannot, ignore the fact that he's had over 1,000, yards against this team. So when it comes to both these guys going against each other, the Dreadlock Powers are on fire. And I expect to see it tonight. Dump off to Williams. He's tackled after what appears to be a 3-yard gain, setting up third and short. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuned in right now on YouTube, do me a favor, click that like button. And also, if you have an iPhone, download the Hot Mic app. Use the promo code Adonis. Listen to me live on Hot Mic and sync my commentary with your computer so you don't got to listen to, I said computer, with your television so you don't got to listen to Joe Buck. You don't got to listen to Troy Aikman. You can hear the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis, and hear the commentator that you want to hear. You can live tweet me and comment in the comment section. We are interacting all day. Edward Bratton puts 5 on it. Says, been a big fan of yours for 2 years and love what you do. Love your entrepreneur mindset. Keep doing what you do, brother. Steeler Nation. Well, thank you very much, Edward. I truly do appreciate you for rocking with me. Following a Colts first down, Jacoby Brissett rolling towards his right, looking over the middle, pass incomplete to double E, Eric Ebron. Daniel Evans asked me who's my favorite comedian of all time. That would be Patrice O'Neal. Who's my favorite comedian right now? Probably Chappelle. Bill Burr are right there together. All right. Trevor Awesome says, who's my MVP right now? That would be Russell Wilson, but I'm sorry. Lamar Jackson is right there. He's been putting on some virtuoso performances in the past couple of weeks that have since made you almost look at what Russell Wilson's been doing like, wait a minute, Lamar is turning all the way up. And I cannot say enough how much I apologize for not truly believing in this man being able to galvanize a team with his lack of passing ability. But he's come out this season and he's showed me that I was indeed wrong. And I will be the first person to come out and say I apologize for chastising this man's passing ability, because I believed he could have ran and picked up yards. I believed he could have been like a Michael Vick sort of situation, but I disregarded the fact that Baltimore's system does not need you to go out there and throw for 350. You don't need to go out there and be a Patrick Mahomes. You just got to go out there and be you. That's exactly what Harbaugh has done with Lamar Jackson, and it's sent them to being the best team in the AFC, in my opinion. All right, here we go. 3rd and 5, Jacoby Brissett takes the snap, looking right. Eric Ebron, one-hand catch, but he's going to be stopped short. Frank Costanza challenge. I stopped short. They would not pick up the first down, and the Texans would receive the ball back as long as the Colts do not fake it. All right, let's see. Your boy DJV says, who do I have as the 2 teams for the Super Bowl? I have none. I refuse to pick a team for the Super Bowl until the playoffs start, because anything can happen. Rigoberto Sanchez to punt the ball back to the Texans with 3:23 left to play, still scoreless in NRG Stadium. And I believe gets a couple of blocks on the return, stays in bounds. There's going to be very favorable field position for the Texans. As we're sitting at 3:12 left to play, 0-0 is the score. And we will be right back after these commercial messages. All right. Oh, I did get a question that came in from BGX Rebirth Animation saying, who is my favorite Steeler of all time? His is Troy. My favorite Steeler of all time is Hines Ward. That is my guy. He's my favorite football player of all time. It's just something, the joy that he played with the game, hitting people and, leaving with a smile. It was something beautiful. All right. Kyle Fulton says, what about Cameron Jordan for Defensive Player of the Year? I can't necessarily say that. He's been balling, but I can't say he's Defensive Player of the Year. All right. The game is back first for the Texans, and I believe the Texans can go and pull off this this victory right now. I believe they'll be able to win. Not win, but I think they're going to lose. But I think they're going to score on this drive. I expect them to be able to find their way into the end zone. Second and 11 for the Texans from where they stand right now. Deshaun Watson steps back. He'd connect with his man over the middle. It's going to be most likely 3rd and 6. Moving forward, I expect, the Colts to figure out something offensively. But I think the Texans will be able to find the end zone on this particular play. Well, not this play, on this drive. That'd be something. If they scored on that play, I'd call myself Nostradamus. I mean, I had my moments before. But this right here would be something special now, wouldn't it? 3rd and 6 from the 50-yard line. Watson takes the snap, rolling out of the pocket, looking towards his right. He connects with his man, but the pass is incomplete. DeAndre Hopkins could not get his toes down. The referees would begin to deliberate. They're saying, did you see the toes? I didn't see any toes. Did you see the catch? I didn't see no catch. What are we going to do? Let's keep it as 4th down. Get that offense off the field, guys. Look at the replay. I think he got his toes down, man. I think he got his toes down. There's a little bit of a drag. It looks like the Santonio Holmes sort of situation. You see the turf coming up. I think I might have to call that as a catch. 1st and 10. They're moving the chains for the Texans. And indeed they did. The referees did the right thing. No more question of what the hell's a catch in the NFL, but I'll tell you, they still don't know what a pass interference call is in the NFL. To the right, there'd be no gain on this play. I'm still feeling in my soul the Texans will be able to find their way into the end zone as we sit here comfortably on 2nd down. Charles says, is TJ Watt a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in my eyes? Being unbiased, I definitely say he is. But I think Minka has made a bigger impact on that defense than TJ Watt in the short period of time that Minka has been there. So I think I'd lean more towards him. But both of them are Defensive Player of the Year candidates. On 2nd and 10, we'd only see a pickup of 2 yards, which would set up 3rd and long. Not really the most ideal position for this Texans team, but it's if they can pick up, let's say 10 yards here, obviously you pick up 1st downs, but you can put yourself into Kaimi Fairbairn's his field goal range, and all points are good points. All right. Evan says, I think Jamal Adams and Minka are front runners. Let me tell you something, and I completely disregarded Jamal Adams because in my opinion, and I've said this countless times, Jamal Adams is the best safety in the NFL. 3rd and 8, but there appears there's a flag on the play, some laundry on the field, false start from the Houston Texans. You got started, you got a little bit too excited, all right? This kind of like blowing your load before you can even really get into the session. This ain't what you want to do. Too much laundry on the field. That's not where you want to be. That is not where you want to be, especially if you had an opportunity on a 3rd and 8 that's now become a 3rd and 13. I expect the Colts to blitz on this particular play. Here we go from the 47-yard line. Deshaun, they could stop Sherlock Holmes, but they could not stop Watson. Takes the snap, steps up, rolling towards his right. He's going to look over towards his right, connect with his man to pick up the Houston Texan 1st down. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. This is exactly what the doctor needed in order to move the chains. big time first down pickup. Something very necessary that they definitely needed, keeping the drive alive. And I told you guys I predict them to score on this particular play. And that is the end of the first quarter. Thus far, from what I've seen, both offensive have been struggling to figure out a way to, put points on the board, stifled by defenses. The run game has not been looking good for either team thus far. But nonetheless, I expect, the Texans to find their way into the end zone. But I think this will be an exciting second quarter. I think the Colts will also find the end zone. If not, old man Adam will put 3 points on the board. So overall, man, this feels like it could be a very good game. It may have started slow, but I expect things to get much more exciting down the line. The Texans offense is alive right now, but with 1 quarter down and 45 minutes left to play, I expect things to really pick up. But remember my score prediction, 34-27. If you have not made your prediction for the game, feel free. Let's see if you're far off, or you think it'll be a much lower scoring game with defenses showing up and showing out. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the Hot Mic app on YouTube as well. Feel free to download that Hot Mic app. Use the promo code Adonis and watch me live on Hot Mic. Something that you don't want to miss out. Gives power to the creator. Lets you listen to your favorite commentator rather than listening to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. And we've incorporated a live chat over there. Just wait until it comes to Android. You're not going to want to miss out on that. Somewhere in the middle of December, you can tune in and things will be fun over there. Where we're sitting at a scoreless game between the Houston Texans and Indianapolis Colts. I'm not sure anybody came into this game expected this to be extremely high scoring, but it is what it is, an AFC South matchup. Both these teams know each other very well. And we're headed back to NRG Stadium to kick off the second quarter, pardon me. I see 28-21 Colts, 20-21. I'm seeing all kinds of scores that are here. All right. Ooh, is that my phone? Yes, it is. Oops. Here we go on 1st and 10. I believe that was Carlos hide and seek, picking up what should be 7 yards on the play, not moving the chains for the Texans, but picking up positive yardage. Let's see. Houston Astros became cheaters after they stole something when they won the championship in 2017. Adam Vinatieri will miss 2 field goals. That is a bold prediction, but he has not been having the best season. If you look on the sideline, you see Andre Johnson is in the house. YT God of Rage says, should the Steelers try to trade for Bell? Is that Le'Veon Bell you're referencing? I would say, they had the opportunity during the trade deadline to possibly explore that, so perhaps they'd bring him back. But at this point, no. What would be the purpose? I understand James Conner is getting hurt and he can't necessarily stay healthy, but it's far too early to, go and jump back on the Bell train when you haven't even given it, last season was 1 season, but you saw a Pro Bowler in your running back, so why would you go back after him? But YT God of Rage says 28-14 in favor of the Texans. Deshaun Watson rolling right, throwing the ball into the end zone, overthrows his man on 3rd and 5. That's go probably have to set up a field goal opportunity for Kaimi Fairbairn, coming out and putting 3 on the board. I thought I'd see a touchdown from the Texans, but more importantly, what happens is you have an opportunity for 3 points. Let's take one quick look at Twitter, see what's going on in Twitter world, as O.J. Simpson would say. All right, Gap Tooth Assassin says he's got Michael Thomas for MVP. You know what? That's a fair analysis. Teddy Bridgewater played, Michael Thomas bowled. Drew Brees played, Michael Thomas bowled. And let me tell you something. The 2017 MVP could have been Antonio Brown had he not gotten hurt, because this man was far and away the best player in the NFL that season. But what happened was the man got hurt, and then ultimately that kind of cost his MVP chances. And then they pretty much gave it to Tom Brady as a default. Some laundry on the field. Darius Leonard leaping over. Oh, did he press his hand down? Yes, indeed he did. He pressed his hand down on somebody in order to get some elevation. Well, not too much, actually. I don't think I would call that for leaping. But that being, what was it, a 5-yard penalty? That would be an automatic first down, would it not? With 13:42 left to play, but it appears that the Texans will just take the points. So we're going in to the next Colts drive with the Texans leading 3-0. All right, Timothy Sherry says, keep up the good work, 100. You're the best. I appreciate you for your support. Back to Twitter we go. We've got Josh Moses saying the Falcons blow more leads than a harlot on a good night. Trust in the power of dreadlocks, you'll regain the lead. Well, that's interesting. That doesn't necessarily rhyme, but I get where you're coming from. Then again, the dreadlock, verses don't have to rhyme. I at first when I started it, they were not rhyming. I'm not sure where the rhythm and the rhyming came from when I started, but hey, we're rhyming now. Let's see. Moody Booty says, what game show do you think will be the most successful at? Okay. What game show do you think you would be the most successful at? Probably the game show. Price is Right, maybe? Family Feud? No. Wheel of Fortune. Maybe Wheel of Fortune. I'm not sure. I am not sure. Let's see. Brissett to T.Y. Hilton for a 28-yard TD this drive. That is a good prediction. Perhaps that is what can happen. I apologize for my burping. I'm not sure what is transpiring in my stomach. In my Uber ride over, for some apparent reason, I had some sort of motion sickness. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know why it is. When I drive, I have no issue, but if somebody else is driving me, I am queasy out of the wazoo. Ultra Instinct puts $4.99 on it. Carson Wentz should have been MVP in 2017, but this year it's Lamar Jackson. You are absolutely correct regarding Carson Wentz. It should have been his MVP, but then he got hurt. Also, there was a running back who was balling that year, and I am forgetting. Was it Todd Gurley? Was balling that year, and then it kind of fell off. AB was far and away than everybody else. Then he got hurt. Then they looked around like, who else was the next upcoming guy? Oh, it was Tom Brady. Well, he's the only last one standing. Let's give it to him. This year, honestly, but originally it was Wilson, McCaffrey, then Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has passed McCaffrey, and he's right underneath Russell Wilson. Literally right here underneath Russell Wilson, in my opinion. But one more look at what just happened on the field with Fairbairn's field goal and Leonard going overhand. I don't believe there should have been a flag. I'm not sure if they retracted it. But from where I sit, because if you look at his right hand, it doesn't appear as if there's any form of pressure that was there that could have caused him using somebody in order to leap. He almost got the block. I'll say that much. He almost got that block. Tommy Griffin says, hey, what's up? I am doing well. What's going on? Liam Hines would return it to the 18-yard line, but there's a flag on the play. Some laundry on the field. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't do laundry during football games, but evidently these teams cannot, for some apparent reason, stop themselves from having to do laundry. Trying to figure out exactly what the call is. Frank Reich looking down at his play sheet, seeing that he's facing a deficit right now. We've had a little bit of a illegal block in the back on the receiving team. That's probably going to be half the distance to the goal from the 18, so they'll probably have to set them up for a 1st and 10 at the 9. Random Trainer X says, Chiseled Adonis, if you could coach any team in the NFL, which team would you coach? That is an easy one. I would coach the Tampa Bay Buccaneers simply because of Jameis Winston. For some apparent reason, I wish I could tell you why I believe in Jameis so much, but I honestly feel as if this man has a ridiculous amount of talent inside of him. He just has to get over the turnovers. So if there was anybody who I can galvanize to play better, that'd probably be Jameis Winston leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they have a ton of talent. Handoff to Williams. He'd pick up 4 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards, and a set up 2nd and 6. Danica says need some job interview advice for Saturday. Go in there, be yourself. Be yourself, tell the truth. Why are you applying for this job? Because I'm broke. I don't got no money. Don't do that. But go be yourself. Let your personality shine. You will leave with the hiring. And if they don't hire you, well, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You took a shot, you just so happen to miss. Go take another shot. Apply somewhere else. Ultra Instinct says Lamar over Wilson because the head-to-head matchup. But it's really close. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. He did beat him. That's fair. And what we did see was a stuff in the backfield from the Houston Texans on 2nd down. Take a look at the nose tackle. Look what happens here. They don't necessarily, on Quentin Nelson, did not block him all the way. It seemed like as if they were shifting their protection, that's the proper term. They were sliding their protection towards the left, did not do a very great job, and you had a loss in the backfield. And here we go, or was it a gain of 2, gain of 1, whatever it came, maybe no gain. 3rd and 4 for Jacoby Brissett, looking towards his left, connecting with T.Y. Hilton, moving the chains for the Colts, keeping that drive alive. They have since passed the 20, now going to have 1st and 10 from the 21. All right. Squire Simpson says so much for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, I would love to say I'd coach the Pittsburgh Steelers, but Mike Tomlin's doing a hell of a job, regardless of him underachieving against lower ranked teams. You can't deny the success that he's had. Yes, you've had a Hall of Fame quarterback, but damn it, you got to give some credit to the coach. We'll see what happens. But first downs thus far, Indianapolis has had 3, and the Texans have had 4. Handoff to Williams, pickup of 1. Your boy DJV says, if Russell or Lamar wins MVP, Super Bowl MVP will go down as the greatest QB, the black QB season of all time. Well, given the accolades, I guess yes, but you would have to look at somebody like you can't overlook Doug Williams. That was more of a playoff push. Probably Cam Newton's 2015 campaign with what he had. That would probably be it. Dante Culpepper in 2004. Brissett would find Jack Doyle moving the chains. Take a look at that knee brace, man. That is tough to move in. You talk about mobility being stifled. Let me tell you something. And if you're a wrestling fan and you heard stories about how hard it is to walk in knee braces, if you heard Stone Cold Steve Austin talk about how hard it was to maneuver in a knee brace, knowing this man fought in those pretty much iconic knee braces all through from 1998 until his retirement in 2003, it takes a lot to get used to moving in that knee brace. And don't tell Joe Flacco about trying to slide in it. Brissett would drop back. He'd escape a couple of pass rushes. Good Lord in heaven, a pickup too. But there's a flag on the play, some more laundry on the field. And if we're talking about that knee brace, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, Joe Flacco can tell you all about the knee brace, because every time Flacco goes to slide with that knee brace, it looks like he's about to snap his leg and play in the Kevin Ware challenge. It's bad. All right. And even RG3, the knee brace did him no favors. So I'll tell you this much. Young fellas out there, if you play QB, or hell, young women too, because women play football too. But if you're playing quarterback, or you're playing anything where you have a very thick knee brace, there's a hold, I might add as well, and you're playing any form of football, and you're trying to slide, don't slide with a knee brace. Slide butt first. To hell with the legs. Slide butt first. Handoff to Williams, makes one Texan miss. He'd get back about 4 yards. The comedic genius says Tomlin should be a coach of the year. No, it's too early. He was looking like, damn it, he could have came out of nowhere and usurped Kyle Shanahan because of that 4-game win streak with the Steelers. But this loss to the Browns, it kind of slows things down. But honestly, in my opinion, if Tomlin makes it to the playoffs, he is a surefire candidate for that head coach of the year. Now, should he win it? That's That's yet to be seen, but he should be a candidate if he's able to somehow get the Pittsburgh Steelers to the playoffs. All right, 2nd and 16. Jacoby Brissett once again rolling towards his right. He's going to take off. Please don't slide. Think of your knee brace. And he probably gets it. Yeah, he picks up enough for a first down. But once again, there's laundry on the field. And what is going to be the call? You can't call the hold. They called hold on number 64. Well, I don't see it. I do not agree with that call. Can we get a replay? I'm not sure I agree with that call. You know what? I can't say that's a hold, man. I can't say I agree with that call. Where is the hold? Let's see it from the beginning. He pushed another man. He was here. There was a slight tug. However, the hand was released in the direction. This is a ticky-tacky call. It's a bang-bang call. I see why they threw it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but you're going to have to live with it. That's one of those you kind of wish you could have back. I can't necessarily sit here and say that's one I'd agree with. But on 2nd and 26, it appears there was a miscommunication on what the route should have been. Jacoby Brissett overthrew his man, and the pass was incomplete. Danica Shuck says, other Coach of the Year candidates. Well, you're looking at, first and foremost, you can't ignore what's going on in San Francisco, so Kyle Shanahan has to be mentioned. John Harbaugh, you already know what he brings to the table, so I'm not surprised at how he galvanizes that Ravens team. John Gruden, for what it's worth, put some respect on Gruden's name. He should be mentioned as well for what he is doing, keeping this Raiders team afloat and an opportunity to keep pace with the Chiefs in the division. And I'll get to a couple of other candidates in the NFC. 3rd and 26, dump off 2. We don't play checkers. We play Chester Rogers, who, good Lord, he got low to avoid. He avoided one Texan, then got low to avoid another Texan, but it was not enough to pick up the first down. Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. Thank you so much for commenting in the comment section, because I was going to mention him. Matt LaFleur, sensational job out there in Green Bay. He's doing his thing. And I believe there is one more candidate out of, could be the NFC South, with how Sean Payton is playing, had his team go undefeated with Teddy Bridgewater at the helm. Now, granted, Teddy Bridgewater is no scrub. All right, he was a Pro Bowl quarterback when he was in Minnesota. But still, you got to give credit where credit is due. I understand you can't give Bill Belichick head coach of the year because he's been so consistent. And I see Sean Payton has been consistent, but you got to make sure you mention this man. You can't ignore it. Drew Brees goes down, they do not miss a beat. And to be quite honest with you, if they don't throw or blow the call dead on Cam Jordan recovering the fumble against the Rams, who's to say that doesn't change the way the Saints play? Because they would have took the lead had the touchdown stand. So they could mess around and have been undefeated without Drew Brees. So I'm just saying, you got to consider Sean Payton. So I would say comeback player of the year from Big Pimpin' TV. I am forgetting. The name is escaping me. Because it is a pretty much like a no-brainer who the comeback player of the year is. And it is escaping me. But let's take one quick look at Twitter, see what's going on. Jeff Peasley says, I watched your video on Kaepernick. I agree 100% how you feel about the situation. I believe he's done in the NFL and should be better off playing in the CFL and XFL, most likely the XFL. I'll say this much about Colin Kaepernick. I explained how I felt about the situation. And if you have not seen the video, go and watch it because we're staying on topic. What you have to stay on topic with these sort of situations is what's transpiring with the workout. That is where the conversation is. That is where the conversation stays. When people tend to veer off and go somewhere else, they do themselves a disservice because they're not staying on topic and they're convoluting exactly what it is that transpired. But of course, we ain't talking about that right now. Juice says, while we know his season is done, do you think the helmet whack could be detriment to Garrett's career? Absolutely. This will be what he is known for. All right, so it's not as bad as what Michael Vick did with dogs, not by any estimation, especially given the fact that Mason Rudolph played a huge role in agitating Garrett to even whack him over the head with the helmet. But how we feel about Albert Hainsworth, he was known as I'm stomping on people. Look at Ndamukong Suh. Everybody puts him with a dirty player. They just assume he is a dirty player. So in the case of Garrett, He's got to do a ton of charitable works to try to make sure people don't remember he just whacked somebody over the helmet. Derek Vehicle as a comeback player of the year, I'm not too sure. Jimmy G, there it is. Jimmy G. That was the name for the comeback player of the year. Thank you very much to Lyndon Bernard. Thank you very much. Jimmy G is my selection. 4th and 14. Sanchez would punt the ball back to the Texans, fielded at the 26-yard line, returned to the 30. Oh, wait a minute. Is the ball loose? I believe there's a live football. Wait a minute. There's a live football. Little bit of Butterfingers. Halloween was last month. We're approaching Thanksgiving. Who wants to have turkey? We're eating Butterfingers. Fumble on the play. It appears that the Texans may have recovered and maintained possession. I'm not seeing a ton of ecstatic faces from individuals with white jerseys, so it appears that the Texans may still have the football. Oh, look. Is that a lady ref? I think that is a female ref. Yes, indeed it is. I believe she was the first and only female ref. She began officiating, I think it was last year. So kudos to her, breaking down barriers. Good job, ladies. Don't feel as if you can't accomplish anything in this world. If you want to become a referee, become a referee. If you want to play in the NFL, I'm not sure if that's going to work out. I think they should make a women's football league. It's high time that they make one. They have a WNBA. They could make a women's football league. And to be quite honest with you, I think there's a better market for women's football right now. I think that is something that people would thoroughly entertain. And I don't want to hear about the lingerie football league, although it is very, very captivating to watch. It's not... there's good football there, but it takes away from the game because you're looking at people in the bikinis. Female GMs, I'm not sure. I would have to see. That would be very interesting. Play action fake. Watson pass intercepted by the Indianapolis Colts. They missed out on an opportunity to get a fumble recovery, but they made up for it with an interception. They're headed into the end zone to pose together and take photos. Sensational job. Now, Josh Moses says, Nick Folk as comeback player of the year. You're going to stop playing with me. I'm going to go to your house. I don't know how I'm going to find your house. I will release the fecal matter out of my gluteal cleft, but I will not flush the toilet when I go to your house if you keep talking about Nick Folk. I've had enough of Nick Folk. All right, Ultra Instinct puts $1.99 on it once more, says you should do Packers versus 49ers Sunday Night Football on Hot Mic. I'll tell you this much. I want to do a Sunday Night Football game live so bad. However, with the recording of the commentary and having to get that out for you at an appropriate time, it would be impossible to get that all done on that day. I'll tell you this much, though. For the playoffs, I will be going live for every single playoff game. So that's wild card weekend. There's 4 games. I will be live back to back to back. For the divisional round, I will be live. For the championship Sunday, I will be live. And the Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, I will be live. And you guys, let me know what you guys think about going into basketball live commentary. And also, one of my friends, or one half of the Black and Brown Films, did mention regarding soccer commentary. Now, I know a bit about soccer. I know the big names, but the intricacies about the actual game of soccer, I have no clue. But I think my omission of what's happening can make it funnier because I have to use my creativity, and Lord knows how creative I am. Jordan White has entered the chat room, and Jordan White, I appreciate you. You were in the live stream for the commentary. I believe this past Tuesday, and you'd love to be noticed. Well, consider me noticing you. One more quick look at Twitter, see what's happening over here. Deshae Dorsey says, I believe the Steelers' offense isn't the same without AB and Big Ben. More Big Ben than AB. Now, granted, we didn't get an opportunity to get a full sample size of Big Ben without AB, but we've seen him win before him. But Big Ben became a prolific quarterback with AB. So, who knows? But absolutely, you don't have 2 Hall of Famers. In the case of AB, he's kind of messing up his ballot or entry into the Hall of Fame. But there's no denying, AB is a Hall of Fame talent. So we can't just disrespect him because the man's a clown now. Missing 2 Hall of Famers and one who could have been a Hall of Famer in Le'Veon Bell, who still can, is going to look very different. But give the Steelers some time. Let's see. Moody Booty says, I'd say the part about underachieving is the only thing that's the same. Fair enough. Oh, regarding he's in the conversation with Deshaun. Okay, cool. Jeff Peasley says for some odd reason. Oh, right before we even get back into the tweets, we had a 5-yard pickup from Williams on 1st and 10. Remember, the Colts just caught a pick. Was the pass tipped? Oh, barely tipped. That's not enough to say, hey, the defender made a hell of a play. It was barely tipped, although a barely tipped ball can alter the pass, but I feel as if that pass was fixing to get intercepted either way. It was a low ball, not necessarily a smart throw from Watson. Bad INT, and his first INT in 10 games. 2nd and 5. Handoff. Oh, good Lord. Did he trip? I believe Williams tripped. Well, evidently Luigi is out there playing a little bit of Mario Kart, dropped a banana on the field. He'd only fall and pick up 1 or 2. Big Pimpin' TV asked, do I think Antonio Brown will be a first ballot Hall of Famer? No. They made Chris Carter wait. They're going to make Antonio Brown wait. They made Terrell Owens wait. They're going to make Antonio Brown wait. They made Marvin Harrison wait. They're going to make Antonio Brown wait. So as far as I'm concerned, unless you're somebody like Jerry Rice, you're not going to get in on your first ballot. I was shocked that they let Randy Moss get in on the first ballot because if it's up to me, if T.O.'s not a first ballot, Randy Moss is not a first ballot. Let's just be honest. When we talk about on the field, Randy Moss was a better football talent, athletically better, but Terrell Owens was one of probably the hardest working receivers in the NFL history, period. Come on now. Let's call it down the middle. Handoff to Williams. He'd lose 2 yards. All right, Jeff Peasley asked, some odd reason I think Hopkins and Hilton might have a game tonight. I'm telling you, I feel it in my spirit. And from the way things are looking right now, the run game isn't working. So it's only a matter of time before they abandon it altogether. But I'm seeing Hilton on the sideline. I'm not liking that. 2nd and 11 sort of situation, they should. Somebody saying hockey commentary. You are absolutely correct. I might consider doing that as well. 2nd and 11 from the 29-yard line. Handoff to Williams. Big hole. Pardon me, not Williams. Saneem Hines. Big time hole. Look how stretched open that hole was. Somebody put in a little bit of 50 Shades of Grey. But we're looking at butt plugs on the play. Opened up quite the hole, quite the stretch, quite the gape to pick up that first down. Did we just turn this sexual? Absolutely we did. You don't hear this with Joe Buck. You don't hear that with Troy Aikman. But I tell you where you can hear it. Live on the Hot Mic app. Utilize the promo code Adonis. Utilize that Hot Mic app if you got, iPhone. And in a month, you will be getting it on Android. And tune in live over there. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Hand off. It'd be a pickup of what appears to be 6 yards, setting up 2nd and 6. And let me tell you something. T.Y. Hilton might just be hurt. It could be something with his lower extremities, a little bit of mobility that is being shot right here, but he's entering the game. T.Y. Hilton has had some injury problems. And let me tell you something about T.Y. Hilton. A lot of people think he's not as elite as he actually is. People overlook how good T.Y. Hilton is. This is a man who led the NFL in receiving. Let's not disrespect how good T.Y. Hilton is. He is a sensational talent, and he is at the bottom of your screen. Play action fake. Jacoby Brissett's going to run it in himself. He dials up voicemail, calls his own number. He goes into the end zone for the Colts touchdown. I got a feeling. The Colts just scored. We're not making no doggone song. God damn it. They take the 7-3 lead. I felt like there was going to be a response, and damn it, there was. Somebody in the comment section did predict if the Colts, it'd be a 28-yard touchdown from Jacoby Brissett to T.Y. Hilton. That was not the case. And in the comment section, we've got J Prime, who says, what if Cody Parkey and Nick Folk trained together to be comeback player of the year and the MVP? You must be thinking this is 1982 when a kicker wins the MVP. Was it Mark Mosley was his name? Who was the MVP of the 1982 NFL season? It was a strike shortened season. An old man Adam, Revolutionary War, alumni. I said alumni. Revolutionary War veteran Adam Vinatieri puts together, or I should say puts through the extra point. But in the case of Cody Parkey and Nick Folk winning comeback player of the year and MVP, this is not 1982. There's not going to be a situation in which you're going to see a kicker win the MVP ever again. I think it was Mark Mosley. No, it wasn't It wasn't Morton Anderson. Morton Anderson did not win the MVP. It was for the kicker for the Redskins in the 1982 season. Let's see. Lion asked me, Donis, Is Stephen A. Smith being treated unfairly about Colin Kaepernick? I absolutely believe he's being treated unfairly because people are overlooking what he's talking about. He's not saying disregard and go against all of your morals. That's not what he's saying. He's saying if you want a workout, there's only so much rebellion that you can do against an organization or an entity that you still want to work for. It makes no sense. So I understand what Stephen A's trying to say. I get why there's backlash. Believe me, I do. But people are overlooking the logic. It's logic versus emotion. Everybody's existing in the emotion. They're disregarding the logic and believing that the emotion would trump the logic. That's why it's doing why people are not understanding. Mark Mosley, the 1982 MVP. Thank you very much for confirming it. I know my football. You want to know who was the 1965 MVP? I couldn't tell you. It's not off the top of my head. I'm pulling a blank right now. But back to the Twitter world. Let's see what's going on over there. Matt LaFleur, CJ Lloyd says Matt LaFleur, Coach of the Year candidate. Absolutely. Kajafa Carter says Nick Folk is a jabroni. You are absolutely right. The conversation going back and forth between Deshaun Dorsey and Moody Booty talking about Juju Smith-Schuster, not a true number one receiver. I would say this much. Regarding Juju being a number one receiver, I believe that he is a number one receiver. The only thing is that you're dealing with a backup quarterback. You can be a number one receiver all day. If your starting quarterback ain't in the game, you're not going to look the same. Let me point something out about Antonio Brown. Every single touchdown he ever caught in his career was from Ben Roethlisberger, with the exception of the one he caught this year from Tom Brady. Look at his games and look at his numbers when Landry Jones was starting. It's not the same. It's a completely different thing. Now, granted, Juju is struggling because you've got Mason Rudolph, you've got Devlin Hodges, you got backup quarterbacks throwing you the football, and that messes up timing. That messes up how you play. Because had that Big Ben in there, I can guarantee you Juju Smith-Schuster would have 1,000 yards. Not right now, but by the end of the season. Now, and it's hard to go in and fill the shoes of AB and expect, because a lot of people have a lot of convoluted thought of what a number one receiver is in the NFL. Do not compare all number one receivers to DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans. It's unfair because these guys are the best in the league. AJ Green, those guys where they're consistently year in, year out, putting up numbers. You're doing a disservice to the player saying that you immediately need to be putting up these numbers because the pace that those players are moving at is not even close to anybody else. Deshaun Watson, 1st and 10, looking towards his right. He finds DeAndre Hopkins for a 5-yard pickup. Pardon me, Will Fuller. The dreadlocks got to me. Oh, and also Keenan Allen and Odell Beckham. They're like a tier a little bit underneath. A little bit underneath those other guys. And Mike Evans, I'd put him a little bit underneath. But AJ Green, he's in that upper echelon. But when we talk about best receivers in the game right now, Michael Thomas has put himself in that conversation. Or at least he's been in that conversation. But before we even get into that, is that Carlos hide and seek? No, it is not. But it's a big-time pickup for the Houston Texans. This man turned into a Beyblade right after the play. What a little bit of a Hitmontop. But that is Johnson picking up a ton of yards. Duke Johnson, that is, picking up a ton of yards for that Houston Texans run game. Granted, the past couple of drives, we did not see too much of big-time runs. You did see a couple of holes for the Colts, and now it appears that it's opening up for the Houston Texans. Yet another positive run for Duke Johnson, picking up 4, setting up 2nd and 6. Kevin Gellerman says, Gellerman, that is, all right. Are you going to add a soundboard for your live show? Perhaps I might. Who knows? Whatever. Remember, everyone thought Michael Thomas was overpaid. I don't think anybody said Michael Thomas was overpaid. Who were you speaking to that said Michael Thomas was overpaid? He earned every dollar of that, regardless of, is Drew Brees the most accurate quarterback of all time throwing you the ball? Well, damn it, you got to catch it. Deshaun Watson takes the snap. Oh, he's hit. That was a big-time hit. I hope there's no flags on the field either. That's a good football hit right there. And who was it that got to him? Was it the individual who picked off the pass? Yes, indeed it was. Look at that corner blitz. Magnificent. Well, from the slot nickel. But that was a great blitz. Good helmet location. Great shoulder pad location. That is good. I like that. No flag on the play. Great blitz. And I believe that's more. Yes, indeed it is. Great blitz. 3rd and 6 from the 47-yard line for Deshaun Watson. Takes the snap, looking over the middle, connects with Will Fuller. The returning Will Fuller activates a little bit of his dreadlock powers to pick up the first down. Moving the chains. Good Lord. I would say a dreadlock verse, but I feel like that should be reserved for a touchdown. But let me know if you'd like to hear a dreadlock verse. I got them on command. My mind is moving. My creativity is boiling. And we are approaching the 2-minute warning in a game that is 7-3 in favor of the Indianapolis Colts. All right, remember, I did say that I do believe the Colts will win this game 34-27. Hand off to what appears to be Carlos hide and seek. No, it's not. I don't think it's Carlos hide and seek. This one is we don't play at North Carolina. We play at Duke Johnson, who'd lose 3 yards. Not really the best outing thus far for the Texans team when it's coming to trying to get into the end zone. However, it's 2nd and 12. You're still in Colts territory, so anything can happen at the 2-minute warning. One more look at Twitter. Let's see if we can catch all the way up before we come back from commercial break. Deshaun Dorsey says, do you believe Dan Quinn is going to get fired after the season? Yes, I do. I think Dan Quinn's going to get fired. Dan Quinn is kind of like, this is going to be very disrespectful. Dan Quinn is a lot like Marvin Jones, Hugh Jackson. And I only say this because that 2016 Falcons team was ridiculously talented. There's somebody who's better as a coordinator than they are as a head coach. No disrespect to Dan Quinn whatsoever, just like Rex Ryan as well. Guys who are better as coordinators than head coaches. And Dan Quinn, you got to a Super Bowl. Those other coaches cannot say that. But still, I feel as if Dan Quinn is better as a coordinator than he is as a head coach. That's just how I feel. There's a difference because you could look at somebody like Mike Zimmer, and a lot of people will say, well, you could say the same thing about Zimmer. Zimmer has had extremely inconsistent offenses. So I can't necessarily say that is the case. Dan Quinn's defense has failed him even when they're healthy. His offense has underachieved under his rule. I gotta say it's a little bit different. Chuck Pagano is a very good coordinator. Yes, he is. Let's see. All right. Hoodie Zay says the NFL should call up Gus Johnson and have him do his thing because these commentators aren't cutting it. You're absolutely correct. Whoever wins this game tonight will win the AFC South. I'd like to say yes, but not necessarily. They will have the tie break. I cannot recall if these guys played each other before. I don't think they did this season. But I do believe the Texans will mess around and win this. No. It's a toss-up. I'm not sure. I wish I could make a prediction as to who I believe will win this division right now. But man, it's tough. It is tough. Terry Ray, whatever it is, says like Johnny Football, he ain't good enough for the CFL. Johnny Football, honestly, I feel as if Manziel could play on an NFL team right now if he could get his head out of his keister and start actually, because his talent is ridiculous. Manziel is somebody who, when you're watching football, he makes it exciting. He somehow gets his players, to play at their best. But this guy is just lazy, man. He's just not in the game. I always felt as if Manziel could have really been something special. I felt like Manziel had something that could have been special, but he did not take the game seriously. 2nd and 12 from the 35. Deshaun Watson takes the snap. I'll give you my thoughts on Kyler Murray very shortly, Jordan P. But 2nd and 12 from the 35. Deshaun, we don't need Sherlock Holmes. We've got Watson looking to go deep, throwing it into the end zone. Wide open is DeAndre Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. And once again, you can always read from the go-to, dreadlock verse in Hair Chronicles 13, verse 7. Can't stop, won't stop. The Lord our God has dreadlocks. And guess where he's going? He's going to find his mama, and he's going to hand her that football. I would hope that is mama. I couldn't really see her face when he handed him the football. But still, this is your reigning, defending, undisputed dreadlocks MVP. Yes, indeed, that is his mom. He handed the football to his mom, who cannot see, but I'll tell you this much. She's envisioning a ton of touchdowns because she's had a ton of footballs in her hands. And DeAndre Hopkins has been getting it done with whoever the hell's playing quarterback. At the time when it was Ryan Fitzpatrick, at the time when it was TJ Yates, T.Y. Yates, whatever the deal was. Whether it was Deshaun Watson, whether it was Matt Schaub, it didn't matter who was throwing the football. It's going to be caught in the end zone. It's going to be a touchdown for DeAndre Hopkins. Magnificent job for the Houston Texans to respond and get them on the board. But with 1:53 on the clock left to play, I do believe that the Colts will respond. And one quick look at what's going on Twitter. Bitter Samurai says, too bad AB will always be a clown. He's such a great football player. He just needs to close them lips and be humble. Kendrick Lamar challenge. I agree. I absolutely agree. AB is somebody who wanted all of the leverage for no reason. No, I can't necessarily say for no reason, but it was in a very odd place because I get why. When he had an interview with ESPN, he said he wants teams to play by his rules. I understood him. I did not know he would go to this extent. All right, because you're somebody who is one of those elite players. Like, for example, Tom Brady can get the league to play by his rules because Tom Brady is Tom Brady. But that's not his personality to do that. AB started acting completely crazy and thought the NFL was, oh, we need you. No. No league needs somebody more than the person needs the league. I'm sorry. I am absolutely sorry. Tom Brady can get knocked out of a game tomorrow and never play football ever again. Football would continue. You saw what happened with Brett Favre. Brett Favre was Iron Man. You would never think you'd see a week of football without Brett Favre. He got knocked out in the game against... They were playing in the University of Minnesota. He got knocked out, and that's all she wrote. Or was that the game? No. They played against the Bears, and Devin Hester took one back, and I think that's what broke the punt return touchdown record. But I don't know if... I think that was the game that Brett Favre got knocked out in 2010. Somebody remind me. Tom Brady, whatever. Tom Brady did get hurt, and the NFL did continue. But that's the season. I'm talking about you get hurt and you never come back. Like, for example, Peyton Manning got hurt, and then when he was going for the season, it was like, whoa, this is kind of weird. And look, when Peyton Manning retired in 2015, 2016 felt weird. Without Peyton Manning, it felt weird. But as the season progressed, you completely forgot about it. It was like, oh, yeah, this is just football. We continue. Person something says, thoughts on Wynn coming back for the Patriots O-line? Sensational, because I really think this guy can be something special. His injuries is a problem, and it should raise an eyebrow. So, if in the event that he does get hurt again and the Patriots do not want to retain him, if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm giving this man a phone call. I'm sorry. If I'm Carolina, I'm giving this man a phone call. And we've got an injury that's on the field. I hope this brother is okay. He's standing on his feet, but it doesn't appear as if he could put too much pressure on that leg. Hopefully it's not an ACL sort of issue, situation or something of that sort of severity, but hopefully he'll be all right. Let's see. Jeff Peasley says, what do you think, Jacoby Brissett? Do you think Jacoby Brissett will have a starting NFL job long term? Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe he's the starting quarterback moving forward for the Colts. He signed a contract, I believe, for 3 years. But correct me if I'm mistaken, but I do believe he is a starting quarterback moving forward. Anthony asked me, how far do you see the Chiefs going this Super Bowl? Super Bowl bound, or how far do I see the Chiefs going this season? Super Bowl bound or not yet? I say not yet. That defense is a liability. The defense is worse now than they were last year. I don't care about what the numbers say. You could see it from a week-by-week basis. They are worse now than they were last year. So I have no confidence in this Chiefs team to defensively get anywhere. If they make it to the Super Bowl, they're going to lose there. They get to the AFC Championship, they're going to lose there. Divisional round, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the Chiefs will be a wild card team. They'll win a wild card game because Mahomes simply will play spectacular, but I think they lose in the divisional round. 1st and 10, Jacoby Brissett dumps the ball off, or screen pass, I should say. T.Y. Hilton, a couple of blocks out in front, picks up 8. They're not going to call timeout. They still do have 3. They're going back to the line, setting up 2nd and short. I think this is smart not to use the timeout here, but after this play, if they're still in bounds, then I would use one of my timeouts. 2nd and 2, Jacoby Brissett takes the snap. Here comes the pass rush. Get rid of the football. Over the middle, caught by T.Y. Hilton. He protects it, but damn it, his hip. It appears there could be an injury here. There better have been a timeout from the Colts. No, they're still going no huddle. This is interesting. I would have called timeout here. And T.Y. Hilton was not a fan of how he was taken down. He has 3 catches for 18 yards. 1st and 10 from the 37. Over the middle, Nyheim Hines could not handle the catch. The pass would be incomplete. And we're moving to 2nd and 10. I would have used the timeout. I would have used the timeout over there. I get you have 3. I get clock management says you could go down the field and, although you could do hurry up offense, but this is about 12 to 17 seconds that they lost because look at it like this. He caught the ball. I believe he was down at about like 1:13 left on the clock. I would have taken that snap and came up, hey, this is what we're going to do the next 3 plays, but apparently Frank Reich and Jacoby Brissett must have came up with that, a little bit before. But I would have had used my timeout there. On 2nd and 10, Eric Ebron would get the reception. He'd cross the 50. Now we're going to get a Colts timeout. We're not? Are you guys out of your mind? Okay, great. We got a Colts timeout. 47 seconds left to play in the first half. Had there not been a timeout, I would have started taking back some of the compliments I have for Frank Reich. All right, back to what is happening on Twitter. Jeff Peasley says Duke Commando Johnson is his name. Very nice. Hoodie Zay says, what are you excited about going into the next decade, and what did you enjoy the most about the 2010s? I'll say this much. I'm excited the most regarding football. I would say I'm excited for this next chapter of the Pittsburgh Steelers. This time it will not be with Ben Roethlisberger. So I'm sad to see him leave, but I'm excited for this new chapter because me being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, since the year 2001 they went to the AFC Championship. 2002 they won a playoff game. 2003 they missed it, and then 2004 until now I've known nothing but winning seasons. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I saw 2 Super Bowl wins. I saw a Super Bowl loss with Big Ben. I appreciate everything that he's ever brought to the game. But in the 2010s, Pittsburgh's going to move on. The 2020s, Pittsburgh's going to move on and find a new quarterback, whether that's Mason Rudolph, whether that's Delvin Hodges, or somebody else. I'm curious to see what this decade will be like as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Will it be, winning? Will it be the 90s where you still, you're winning, but you're not? Incomplete pass from Jacoby Brissett towards T.Y. Hilton, I might add. 2nd and 10 with 44 left to play. But I'm curious to see what sort of decade this will be. Will this be like the 80s Pittsburgh Steelers where you have maybe 1, 2, 3 good seasons and everything else is pretty much mediocre? Will it be the 90s seasons where you play very well, you're constantly in the playoffs, but you can't get over the hump? Or will it be like the 2000 Steelers where you have very good game, you have very good teams, you get to the Super Bowl, and you win a couple of Super Bowls? So I'm excited for that. For where I'm going in life, man, comedy. That's where it's at, man. I want to sell out Madison Square Garden by 2031. Jacoby Brissett dump off over the middle, caught by Nyheim Hines. He is down at the 43. The Colts still do have 2 timeouts. I would use one here, and indeed Frank Reich does. And I would have to say what I'm most excited for this upcoming decade is all comedy, man. I want to see how far I can take social media going, how much streams of people that I could reach out to. I've got a lot of ideas of different ways I could give back to multiple communities, so that's going to be awesome, man. I'm excited for this upcoming decade. Great question from Hoodies A. All right, 3rd and 5. DeAndre Hopkins on the day, 4 catches, 47 yards, and the TD. And remember, at the top of the game, what did we predict? We predicted the Dreadlocks individuals would find their way into the end zone and, more importantly, have a very good game. So DeAndre Hopkins thus far, 4 catches for 47 yards and the TD. That is great. And yes, indeed. Let's see what's happening. 3rd and 5. From the 44-yard line. Jacoby Brissett having trips towards his right. Eric Ebron doesn't get the best release, but there's T.Y. Hilton. The pass over to Eric Ebron. Apparently, it's caught. It's caught at the 30. Now is the time to move, guys. You got to go and spike the football. Don't use a timeout here. They're not going to. Get the spike and get 22 seconds. Take the snap. 21 seconds on the clock. Very good job. But they got to be on it. There should have been 24. They've got to move faster. The pass is indeed caught by Ebron. Yes, indeed. That is a catch. That is a catch. Great pass rush. I always wondered about QBs. When they throw the football and the defender's hand makes contact with whether it's the hand, the forearm, what is that sensation? Because that has got to hurt. That has got to hurt. Good Lord. But a lot of people are getting open. I'm not sure what was the coverage on that particular play. Seemed like a very, very soft zone. And Eric Ebron was able to find the hole there. But it appears that his helmet is off. He's not feeling very good. Jacoby Brissett looking towards his right finds Jack Doyle. Get out of bounds. Get out of bounds. He gets down inside the 20. Not very good ideal job for Jack Doyle. It's clipped. It's over. Just call timeout. You got a timeout? Call timeout with 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left. Send out Adam Vinatieri. Not a good decision by Jack Doyle. He should have got out of bounds. I understand you want to move the chains. I get you want to pick up the first down, but you got a timeout. You could have added at least one more play. He did his team a disservice. Whoa, wait a minute. Did they just go? Why did the clock go all the way down to 0? They used the timeout. Wait a minute. What is happening here? Why is there 0 seconds on the clock? Hold on, somebody's got to fix that. I am perplexed, a little bit flummoxed, bewildered of what's transpired. Why is there 0 seconds on the clock? Somebody needs to adjust that to at least 3, because I know Frank Reich would not let it go down. Okay, 2 seconds. There we are. There is no way. This would be a Kirk Cousins situation when he was playing in Washington. I cannot remember the season. But he took a knee when he was supposed to spike the ball, and they had no timeouts left, and it ended up having to go to the half. I found that to be hilarious. 36-yard attempt for Vincent Van Gogh's cousin. He kicks it through the uprights, and it is good. Old man Adam evens up the score at 10-all going into the half. H-Town Lifer asks, what is PI in the NFL? Nobody has a clue. And let me just go right through these Twitter questions. Jeff Peasley says, Adonis, do you believe Nick Saban finally comes to the NFL and becomes a head coach, even with the Tua situation, with Crimson Tide fans blaming Saban and for Tua being out the season? I'll say this much. I don't think Nick Saban's going to come back to the NFL. He should be 68 now. About to be 69. I do not see him making the transition at this age to go over. You've challenged Bear Bryant to be the greatest college football coach of all time. You're far too old to want to go back to the NFL and probably try to rework that legacy, because that's exactly what Pete Carroll did. But Pete Carroll made the lateral move over when he was late 50s, early 60s, so that was the ideal time to do it. The stress that's on a football coach, I would not suggest going from college to the NFL at the age that Nick Saban is at right now. I would not. Let's see. Moody Booty says, I'm going to say the Jags may actually come out of the division. Really? They have a talented offense and a defense that I feel like can click when they really want to. And, of course, they got Nick Foles, who's a legitimate magic wand for heroics. I would say that, but that run game for the Jags has been far too inconsistent. And if it becomes the Nick Foles show, I believe in Nick Foles, but I do not believe with that Jags team that he'll be able to do the same magic that he had in Philly. Say what you want about Philly. Call that season a fluke all you want. Philly got a ton of names on that team, man. They were balling in 2017, and they could have been balling in 2018 if they did not rush back Carson Wentz. Even this season, they play very good games, but they just lose because of 1 or 2 plays. It's really just 1 or 2 plays, and guys not being able to catch the football. So I cannot say I see the Jags coming out and winning, but hey, that's a bold prediction. That is a bold prediction. AFC South is very competitive. Deshaun Dorsey says, I believe Quinn is safe this year because trading Sanu and Blank going to giving multiple grace periods. Quinn has the ability to make a team better. If the Falcons don't have a winning record, then he's gone. But they're stocking draft picks for a reason. You do have a point, but again, I think in this position, it's a foregone conclusion. Dan Quinn will be gone. I think the end of the season, that's the end of his season, man. Honestly. And I ain't talking about in the figurative the case. This is literal. I think his season is done once the season is over. And I ain't you packing up, getting ready for next season. No, I think his coaching with the Falcons is finished. Iron Knuckle B put a $1 on it. All right. Bitter Samuel says, of course Hopkins gets the touchdown. Why? Because dreadlocks. That's why. You're darn tootin' right. All right. Samus Waters says, you mean Bounty Gate? I think he was referencing something else. If I was talking about Bounty Gate with what happened with the what Sean Payton did with that. And granted, the thing with the bounties, I get why there's outrage because you're going in there talking about you're going to pay for knocking out players. But in the case of the opposing teams, you can't deny it. The Saints were the best team in the NFL that season, outside of the Colts. But they were the best team in the NFL that season. I understand Bountygate. I get the severity of putting money on people's heads, but damn it, the Saints won their games. They may have had some dirty plays here and there. That NFC Championship against Favre was ridiculously dirty. Like I had to take a shower after watching that game. How dirty it was, but the Saints was able to pull off wins. All right. Somebody sent me a photo of Steve Austin in the longest yard and says they're gonna tell their kids that that's Christian McCaffrey. That is hilarious. BSP Gene. And I just watched I watched the clip earlier from NFL Films about the McCaffrey family. And let me tell you something. It is absolutely beautiful. Ed McCaffrey and his wife have 4 boys. All 4 of them play football. The oldest son played in the NFL. I believe he was on the Packers. Now he's gotten drafted for the upcoming XFL. Christian McCaffrey, you already know him. And then they have 2 of their younger brothers playing college football. So that's sensational. And more importantly, Ed McCaffrey's wife, beautiful soul. You talk about chemistry. That is what everybody wants. Any man who aspires to be in a relationship, that's the sort of relationship you want to be with. You want to be with somebody who not only builds you up and supports you in everything that you do, it's like an absolute joy to be around that person. I understand now why somebody would say, you want your wife or you want your husband to be your best friend. That is exactly what it was. I mean, watching that 12 minutes was just extremely, heartwarming. It was beautiful. And then I watched Jackie Slater and Matthew Slater in their video of the 2 of them, and it just shows the beauty of a father's love. Listen, I love my father to life. I mean, I cherish our relationship and our bond. So it's just something about a dad and his kids that really gets me going. Ultra Instinct puts $2 on it. What are your thoughts on Melo back in the NBA? I love it. I love it. Portland is a sensational fit. He didn't play the best game. This is his game back. He didn't play the best game. But I love that Melo's back in the NBA. I felt as if he was being robbed of an opportunity to be on a team because people thought, well, you can't win games with Melo as the primary option, which is absolutely true. Melo should not be a primary option. But if you're telling me this man can't be a team's Lou Williams, I think you're lying to yourself. Melo could come off the bench for any team. All right, but for me, I'm going to grab myself a quick snack. I will return in 10 minutes when we return from halftime. So get yourself a snack if you have to. Find something to keep yourself occupied for the next 10 minutes. And when we return with the second half in this AFC South matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans, I will be right back shortly. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. The Colts and Texans tied up at 10. Rushing yards. You're looking at 70 on the side of the Colts, 35 on the side of the Texans, 166 total yards for the Colts, 151 for the Texans. One takeaway for the Colts, that being an interception, and they were able to turn. Did they turn that into points? I believe that they did. No, they did not. 18 minutes time of possession for the Colts, in contrast to the 11 and a little bit of seconds for the Texans. I'll say this much. I still do believe the Colts will win this game. The scoring total that I had of 34-27 being the final score, I did believe that to be the final score. I still do believe the score will reach that high. You know, Jacoby said looks like one of my old buddies from church. Whatever the case may have been, I expect DeAndre Hopkins to continue to make plays. I expect to see T.Y. Hilton find his way into the end zone. But we don't have to wait until the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Oh, no. What we're going to see is the kickoff from Sanchez to the Texans in NRG Stadium, live on the Hot Mic app. If you have an iPhone, do me a favor, download that Hot Mic app on the App Store. Use the promo code Adonis. It's invite only. This is very exclusive. Okay, and watch me live on the Hot Mic app. It's coming to Android in a month. We're implementing a live chat room. There is one on Hot Mic right now, but unfortunately I cannot see it because I still am an Android user. So in about a month, we will be able to talk to each other over there as well. But feel free to message me on Twitter, and we are responding to live tweets here in Hold My Nugget Studios. Here we have Deshaun Watson, play action fake, got time actually. He does have a lot of time in the pocket. Nobody was over there. He rolled more towards his left, was able to get out, but there's a flag on the play. It appears this is going to be defensive PI. And the corner is upset. He's even taking his helmet off. Oh, there's the hat off, so it appears that DeAndre Hopkins may have stepped out of bounds. Let's take a look at the replay and see what... Oh, yes, he did. He did indeed step out of bounds before he was pushed. Yes, he did. That's out of bounds. The flag is on DeAndre Hopkins. He seems perplexed. He's confused. He's trying to figure out what happened. Why'd you throw the flag on me? I got dreadlocks. Have you not seen the Chiseled Adonis channel? You can't disrespect the dreadlocks. How dare you throw a flag on me? You didn't see him pass the ball? Huh? You didn't see him pass the ball to me after I came all the way back in bounds? Did you not see him push me out of bounds? Hey, let me talk to him. I just want to talk to him. What you mean my dreadlocks are intimidating? No, they're not. Don't talk to me like that. Hey, black guy, you're a ref. You can hear me out. But it appears that there's illegal use of hands to the face. Perhaps that's on the defense. Oh, wait a minute. But there's also illegal touching. And you don't want to have illegal touching. Oh, no, that's a Woody Allen challenge. You don't want to have that happen. He did make the call for illegal hands to the face, and it appears for DeAndre Hopkins that indeed was correct. However, it appears that these penalties will offset. And it is 1st and 10 for the Texans. With a 14:45 left to play, here we go. From the 25-yard line. Left to play in the third quarter, I might add. Not like it's the fourth quarter. Somebody probably can't. They got a little bit of dyslexic. Can't see that it's third quarter. Like, oh, wait a minute. It's fourth quarter already, but they just came out of halftime. Here goes the handoff to, I believe that is Duke Jackson. Duke Johnson. But I believe that there's no, that's Carlos hide and seek. But there's laundry on the field once again. What is happening over here? A ton of flags tonight. What is going on? All right, this is intriguing. I never thought I'd see so much flags in one game. This could be one of those games where you see over 20 flags. I haven't kept count of how many flags there was, but darn it, there's a lot. T.Y. Hilton on the sideline once again, although he's on offense, so he doesn't really have to worry about being on the field right now, but hopefully that man is okay. Empty formation for the Texans. All right, you're seeing a lot. The three-man rush. Watson going deep. Separation. Pass caught by Will Fuller. He stays, get back on his feet. Huge gain in Houston. And the dreadlock powers are activated. There should have been, maybe there's an offensive pass. Is there a pass interference here? I cannot say I throw a flag for an offensive pass interference here. I cannot say I would. Look at a great pass rush by the Colts on a 3-man pass rush. Just to no avail. That was a great catch and pass. Great catch and pass. Mr. Random Man asks Aaron Andrews or Carissa Thompson. Carissa Thompson without question. It's not even worth a debate. It's not even close. No gain. In fact, a loss of 1 for the Houston Texans. One more look at that big play. Look at the protection here. Not the best protection, but man got leveled, man. But such a sensational catch. The concentration that you got to have to get that sort of catch, it's got to be somewhat high. The two-tone dreads. Will Fuller has 8 catches of 25-plus yards this season. And if you remember the opening night, or I should say the opening of Monday Night Football, he had a big-time catch against the Saints. Before, DeAndre Hopkins decided, hey, I'm going to start, taking people to Suplex City. But empty formation once again for Watson. Takes the snap, looking towards his left. It's looking like it could have been a back shoulder sort of situation. But pass overthrown towards Will Fuller. Oh, boy. That could have been something big, but I'm pretty sure Will Fuller's asking himself, or he should be saying to himself, I wish I was taller. He definitely does wish he was taller. I can tell you that right now. And we've got 228 in the room here on YouTube. Feel free to click that like button. We've only got about 193 likes. Let's see if we could get that up to 222. Deshaun Watson on 3rd and 11 takes the snap, looking towards his right. He'd find his man, but he would not be able to break the tackle. He's going to be down at what appears to be the 34-yard line, thus having the Texans have to send out Kaimi Fairbairn most likely to connect on what should be a 52 or 53-yard field goal. This is going to be interesting. Let's see if it's a 52 or 53-yard. If it's 54 or 51, I am going to be upset. And the offense stays out on 4th and 3. I can't necessarily say I agree with this decision, but hey, we'll see what will happen from the 34-yard line. Deshaun Watson, 4th and 3. Maybe they're trying to force an onside. No, they're not. I said offside. Oh, wow. Ball was nearly intercepted again. This was not a good idea. Should have just took the points, dummy. Should have just took the points. Pass incomplete. The Texans turning the ball over on downs. What are you doing? Turn the football over on downs. Should have been intercepted. But I'll tell you this much. That Colts defender's asking himself, what happened to my hands? He could have aided his defensive fantasy team. But that evidently was not in the cards on this night. He had dreadlocks as well, so no wonder he was able to break up the pass. Let's take one more look at what's happening on Twitter. Where's my phone? Here it is. Okay. Let's take a look at what's happening on Twitter. We've got a couple of tweets that have come in recently, coming from Brandon Chewy Black, saying that I'm tweeting you tonight to say I'm sorry about missing the commentary tonight. Had a PT appointment rescheduled for tomorrow, but keep killing the game, dog. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Whether you're able to catch it live or you're not able to catch it, I appreciate you nonetheless. All right, Stephen Oates says, do you think that the 49ers are an underdog sleeper team this year? Not at all. I don't believe they're an underdog or a sleeper team. You're not number 1 in the NFC for no reason. People, if they were sleeping on you now, I think they're in a coma. There's no way that you can't start to look at the 49ers like, all right, I get them now. They're not something that's flying under the radar. Now, if you think that they'll go to the playoffs and mess around and be a one-and-done team, that's fair enough. I wouldn't say that's categorized as sleeping on them because there's questions about, young football teams being able to get things done, and that's fair in its analysis, but I don't think anybody's sleeping on the 49ers, and more importantly, I don't think they're an underdog or a sleeper team, depending on who they play against, though. If they play against Seattle, then definitely I believe they're an underdog, but against every other team in the NFC, I think they are the favorite to beat them. I can't think of another team. Well, maybe Green Bay. But outside of that, I think they're a favorite over the other teams. Fairbairn has been a bum this season. Werner, Is that Werner? Yes, it is. Fairbairn has been a bum this season, unfortunately. Moody Booty says, "Do you think J.J. Watt has become injury prone?" Well, if you have 3 seasons that end with injury, then I guess you could, because 3 of his last 4 seasons he has been unable to finish. But the one with the pectoral, that's a freak accident, so I can't necessarily say that would categorize you as injury prone. But 3 of the past 4 years he can't finish. You got to be categorized as injury prone. It's just by default. Oh, take a look at that young Peyton Manning. But back to what's happening with Jacoby Brissett. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening live on YouTube but you have an iPhone, do me a favor. Download that Hot Mic app. Utilize the promo code Adonis and watch me live on Hot Mic. Sync me to your television. You don't got to listen to Joe Buck. You don't got to listen to Troy Aikman. You could hear the Chiseled Adonis live and in concert. Although we're not in concert. Wait 1 month, then we'll tune into the Android app as well, so we'll be on both Android and iPhone. That is coming very, very soon. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 for the Colts from the 46-yard line. Motion man bunch on the left, hand off, and a pickup of what appears to be 5 for the Colts, and they're moving. Listen, let me tell you something. The last time, and T.Y. Hilton is still on the sideline, but when we saw that Texans offense on the field, what did we see? A turnover on downs. What should have happened? They should have just went and settled for the field goal, but instead they said, we don't trust our kicker. What we're going to do is go out here and, do our best to try to put points on the board ourselves. Wasn't really the best decision. I don't agree with it. I would have went and, kicked the field goal. But, hey, it is what it is. You got to reap what you sow. 2nd and 5. Handoff. Delayed handoff, I might add, to Williams. But he fails to pick up the 1st down, setting up 3rd and short. Ooh, my light's not even on. Let me turn that on real quick. It's on the other side. All right. I'm leaning into the wow, that's kind of bright. That is very bright. I feel like it. Is it? You know what it is. What it is. If I get blinded, I get blinded. Let me turn that down. I'll turn that down. All right, there we go. That feels much more ideal. It didn't really do anything for it, but it is what it is. Better to have the light on than have the light off. All right, here we go. 3rd and 2. For the Indianapolis Colts from the 46-yard line. 9:45 left to play. Brissett takes the snap. Looking over the middle. Connects with Jack Doyle. Listen, let me tell you something. If you took a little bit of arithmetic, you would know when it comes to math in high school algebra, you got to make sure you do the FOIL. Well, for Jacoby Brissett on 3rd down, he trusts in Jack Doyle to move the chains. Great play call selection. He did have somebody wide open on his right-hand side, but he did not throw the ball to him, but they were able to move the chains. 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Handoff to, I believe that's Nyheim Hines. He squirts through a couple of blocks, picks up 5 for the Indianapolis Colts. And here we go. Deshae Dorsey asked me who's the best receiver in my opinion. Julio Jones, but as of right now, Michael Thomas, and it's not even close. Michael Thomas is blowing everybody out of the water, and I'm of the estimation of when it comes to gauging who's the better receivers in the NFL. I need sample size. I need 4 years at least, and Michael Thomas is still dominating. So right now, I mean Julio Jones over the course of the career of the most tenured receivers, but Michael Thomas right now best receiver in the league. Handoff to Nyheim Hines. He picks up another 1st down for the Colts. They are moving slowly but surely towards the Tokokino zone. Rosetta Stone Greek, mother. And here we get Moody Booty sends me another saying that his phone battery is dead, so I got to turn off my stream. But I had a lot of fun listening to the game tonight. I will be back. Well, soon you will be back. I appreciate you for tuning in, brother. Means a lot. Nyheim Hines, another carry, but goes absolutely nowhere. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are live on Hot Mic. So utilize that promo code Adonis. If you don't got Hot Mic, download the app from the App Store. Use the promo code. It's invite only. From that point, you can listen to me live on commentary. More importantly, Hot Mic has a Twitter. Hot Mic has a YouTube. Hot Mic has an Instagram. Hot Mic has a Facebook. Give them a follow. Give them a subscribe. Give them whatever it is that you got to do to keep up with the creators here on this magnificent platform. All right, 2nd and 8 for the Indianapolis Colts from the 24-yard line. What appeared to be a very weird handoff to Nyheim Hines. He's able to make up for it and pick up, I believe that to be 5, setting up 3rd and 3. And they've since entered the 20-yard line, so we know they are now in the rosso-colored zone. Rosetta Stone Italian. All right, I think that's Italian. It's rosso, rossa. I think either is it masculine and feminine and Italian as well. I believe it is, perhaps. Whatever the case may be, they're inside the 20. Handoff once again. Nyheim Hines fights. He picks up the first down. The Colts are at the 15. Slowly but surely picking up yards. You'd have thought they were a real estate, agent who wants to go and pick up their estate because they're picking up a ton of yards over here. Bill Parcells gives advice to Jacoby Brissett saying, don't eat the cheese. Let me tell you something about Bill Parcells. If there was any coach that I would want to play for, I think Bill Parcells would be at the top, number 1 for me. This man is an analogy, quotable, idiom, all kinds of words and wordsmith and being able to phrase things. Oh, just magnificent listening to this man. I can watch film on Bill Parcells all day. In fact, I have access to ESPN to watch the 30 for 30 on the 2 Bills between Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells. I've never seen it yet, but I would have loved to tune in. The Big Tuna, man. This man was something special. I loved me some Bill Parcells. I loved what he did with the Dolphins organization, walking in there after they were 1-15 and all of a sudden they're a playoff team. I loved what he did with Dallas. I really wish it could have worked out. Loved what he did with the Jets. Loved what he did with the Patriots and also the Giants, winning 2 Super Bowls there. This man was a god of a coach. Good Lord, what a run by Williams. You've got to be kidding me. Touchdown Colts. Did you see how he broke away from those Texans? This man wants nothing to do with the state of Texas. He broke away from a couple of Texans. He would tell old man Jonathan Joseph, get your old ass off of me. Separates himself. Extended his bicep, told him, do not touch me. I'm getting baptized tonight. Goes into the end zone for the Colts touchdown to extend their lead. You talk about a grown man run. Good Lord in heaven. Look at the block. Look at the hole. He runs right through Jack Doyle with the seal. The failure of the Texans to stop him. And then old man Jonathan Joseph was too focused thinking about his wife getting him some Bengay, some Icy Hot, getting him some WD-40 that you put in betwixt, your MCL and your ACL. He's wondering if there was bingo on Wednesday. It wasn't enough to stop, it wasn't enough to stop Williams from finding his way into the end zone for the Colts touchdown. You gotta be kidding me, Jonathan Joseph. How many weeks I've got to come out and say, this man is far too old. Listen, let me tell you something. When you're putting on NFL films, when you saw Julian Edelman in the Super Bowl screaming at Tom Brady saying, you're too old, you're too old, he was actually screaming at Jonathan Joseph from a distance. It was an inside joke with NFL films. Jonathan Joseph, you're too old, you're too old. And speaking of old, former Crusader, Adam Vinatieri lining up for the extra point. The kick goes up into the air, and it is good. We've got a 17-10 lead for the Indianapolis Colts going deep into the third quarter with 5:36 left to play. Back to Twitter we go. Let's see what's going on in Twitter world. Hoodie Zay sends in, I don't know if you've seen my last tweet, but I wasn't here. Can I get an answer to it? I did not see your last tweet, Hoodie Zay, but I am scrolling to find it. You asked me what am I excited about into the next decade? Oh, I answered that one. You might have to catch it on the playback, but I said for football, I'm excited for where the Pittsburgh Steelers will go now that Big Ben Roethlisberger will not be the quarterback in the 2020s. And as for my personal life, I am excited for stand-up comedy and just comedy altogether to see how far I can take this career. And more importantly, what did I love the most about the 2010s? God, I had fun. Great Super Bowls. Outside of Seattle and the Broncos, let's see. Steelers Packers was a great game. Giants Patriots was a good game. 49ers and Ravens was a great game. Seattle and the Broncos, that one sucked. Seahawks Patriots was sensational. Broncos and Panthers was great. People did not like it, but I enjoyed it. Probably because I love Peyton Manning, but I enjoyed it. Falcons and Patriots is a memorable one. Eagles and Patriots was an instant classic. Rams and Patriots was very good. Did I skip a Super Bowl? I don't think I did. Rams and Patriots from a defensive standpoint was very good. So I'd have to say from a football perspective, I love the 2010s because the Super Bowls were extremely entertaining. And personally, I guess I found myself to be tacky. I tapped into who I was, and more importantly, building relationships, online, building relationships with you guys, building relationships with everybody who watches my videos. Or hell, even deciding to make videos and jump on this journey to do comedy, man. So I'd have to say that was what I loved the most about this decade. Okay, Mr. Anderson says, do you think Tom Brady and Bill Belichick will be a duo in retirement? I think Belichick will stay one more year after Brady retires, just so he could show people, hey, I built this. If you take a look at what's going on in the playoffs, the Patriots sitting at 9-1 are your number 1 seed. Baltimore at 8-2 is your number 2. Kansas City is your number 3. Indianapolis is your number 4. In the wild card, the Bills and the Texans. In the hunt, you have the Gruden Grinders, the Raiders, the Steelers, the Titans, the Browns, and the Jags. All right, from that pool, I do believe that the Raiders can sneak their way into the postseason, but the Texans and Colts will continue to keep pace and keep things interesting. But the Raiders, the way they're playing right now, who knows? They can mess around and win the division. I think they can mess around and win the division. I believe in this Raiders team, man. I believe in this Raiders team. Seamus asked me, is water wet? Asking for a friend. Water is not wet. The entity of water is water, so I cannot say it's wet. We're not getting into that conversation tonight. Joseph Judkins says, for any NFL fans wondering what PI call is, one local hero has answered. Well, I appreciate you, Joseph, for sharing the video. Play action fake for DeAndre Hopkins. Pardon me. For Deshaun Watson. Going deep connects with Will Fuller. Yet another reception over 25 yards. This was a bomb going deep from the 25, and he's going to be down where? At the 25. Big time pickup. 50-yard bomb for the Houston Texans. Will Fuller is a bona fide deep threat. You got to cover this man going deep. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. You can't let this man beat you going deep. He was down at the 24. If you open your Bibles to Chronicles, 2 verses 22, early, if you're playing Pokemon Generation 2, you'd catch a Mareep. Trust in the power of dreadlocks, Will Fuller will go deep and pick you up a first down. And take a look at those cleats. I used to love having my cleat taped up. I used to have spats, and I gave it to one of my friends. Oh, he's tapping his hamstring. That's not good. That is not good. You just came back, brother. You can't allow yourself to get hurt. Doggummit. Stay healthy. Stay healthy. As if me telling you to stay healthy is going to keep you healthy. 4 plays of 20-plus yards thus far this game for the Texans, but yet they still trail by 7. This can come back to haunt them. Although big-time play, well, then I'm not going to sit over here and try to downplay big-time plays. Let's not do that. Deshaun Watson sacked. Loss of 2. Great job from the Colts. They did not lose their contain. They stayed where they had to be. Listen, if you're a DN and you want to learn to play the game, watch the replay of this particular game. Look at the defensive end right here. Look what he does. All right, he gets outside, but he comes back on a straight line. He did not try to angle to get to Deshaun Watson, because if he did, once Deshaun went and scooted out, he would have not been there. Straight line and kept that contained. Sensational job. Candace Leach puts $5 on it, says the Dreadlock Powers is strong in this game. You're darn tootin', you're right. All right, 3rd and 12 from the 26-yard line. Watson takes the snap. He's got a little bit of protection, dumps the ball off. Duke Johnson does not keep his balance. Well, then again, he does. Gets back on his feet, picks up a little bit of yardage, but he's going to be stopped short of the first down to the 18, going to most likely set up a Jaime Fairbairn field goal that should be, if they're at the 18, 35 yards? 35-yard field goal? 35-36. First field goal he made tonight was from 35 yards. This should be 36 yards. Yes, indeed it is. Let's see if he puts it through the uprights to cut the deficit to 4, and it's wide. No, oh my Lord, it's off the upright and good. Who would have thought that much? He almost went out. He's participating in the Cody Parkey challenge. A little bit of Doink the Clown. Look at that. Right off the upright and goes right in. Well, I did not see that one coming. Good job for them. They got it done. 3 points on the board. Leonard is bewildered, trying to figure out why the hell the ball was able to sneak its way in. Take a look at what's going on Twitter. Stephen Oakes asked me, what's your professional opinion on the Pats-Cowboys game? I believe it's a game that the Cowboys can win, but they will not. I think Bill Belichick will not allow Zeke to run over him, and it's going to become the Dak show. And they're going to take away Amari Cooper because Bill Belichick takes away your top 2 options. So they're going to take Cooper away. They're going to take Zeke away. And now, and more importantly, it's in Foxborough. So because it's in Foxborough, I cannot pick against the Patriots. I got them winning. Dylan Dunn says, how do you can you do commentary on Super Bowl 44? You know how many people have asked me to do commentary on past Super Bowls? A ton. I have to, but I did not have time in the offseason. Maybe this offseason I might be able to go back from Super Bowl 51. No. Yeah, Super Bowl 51 back to Super Bowl 1. If I could get the highlights on the game, of course. But then again, I could just download the entire game footage. I'd have to find it. But go all the way back to Super Bowl 1 and make it very entertaining. So who knows? Maybe I might do that. Past Super Bowl series and release maybe 2 a week leading up until the NFL season. And then next off season, I can just do greatest games or classic games. Who knows? A lot of people have asked me, but I did not have the time these past couple of off seasons. But since I know in advance you guys really do want this and you guys have been asking a lot, perhaps I can sacrifice some time and get that thing going. But I'll say this much. For this game, you're seeing in the second half, back-to-back scoring drives, you're going to see these teams really get the scoring going. I truly believe in my soul it's going to be a 34-27 game. I do believe that to be the case. I see another field goal coming, and I see teams scoring often. I see them scoring fast. Gap 2 for Assassin asked me, who is the greatest dreadlocks player of all time? The greatest dreadlocks player of all time. The greatest dreadlocks player of all time. Larry Fitzgerald. Probably Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah, I'd have to go Larry Fitzgerald. There's the kickoff. It's fielded at, wow, what a catch. Fielded at the 14, returned to the 27. What a hell of a catch on that kickoff. Hoodie Zay asked me, what I'ma miss the most about this decade? Dirk, D. Wade, Kobe, Peyton Manning. Personal life is high school and childhood. I feel like growing up in the 2000s was a blessing and itself, and this decade was something special. Well, you know, you got to hold on to those years, man. You got to hold on to those years. It's beautiful. It can be beautiful. And ladies and gentlemen, we're live on the Hot Mic app. If you don't have the app, download it on the App Store on your Apple iPhone. If you have an Android, we got to wait a month to get it. I am an Android user myself. So, you know, it takes time for greatness. So we just got to wait for our app to come. But utilize the promo code Adonis. If your parent has an iPhone, do them a favor. Download the Hot Mic app on their phone. But I'm not even going to ever use it. Okay, whatever. If you're not going to use it, still download it. Use the promo code Adonis. Get that on just so they have access. Because one day they could be bored and say, hey, I see this guy is live. Let me just tune in. And all of a sudden now they're blown away. They're tuning into my videos and they're quoting it at the dinner table. So if you have somebody who has an iPhone, you let them know, download the Hot Mic app, utilize the promo code Adonis. But who is this guy? Just do it. I told you to do it, Susan. Now it's 2nd and 9 from the 29-yard line. Jacoby Brissett would connect with Thompson. He'd pick up 5. Is going to set up 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 4 for the Indianapolis Colts. Trying to respond to the Texans field goal. All right. Let's see. A couple of people responding in the comment section regarding who was the greatest dreadlock player of all time. I'm seeing Sherman as a football player is not better than Larry Fitzgerald. He may be one of the greatest corners regarding dreadlocks, but he's not better than Larry Fitzgerald when it comes to football players. Marshawn Lynch was a great player, but not better than Larry Fitzgerald when it comes to football players. 3rd and 4, Jacoby Brissett looking over the middle. Oh, and T.Y. Hilton can't hold on to the football. He's got a little bit of butter fingers. What did you eat this morning? I had a little bit of a butter bagel with some jelly, and I asked myself when I got into my room when I was eating it while watching a little bit of Nickelodeon, I was asking myself, what happened to my hands? You can't drop that football, T.Y. You can't drop that football. He's on the sideline asking the T in his name, why? He should have caught the football. That was very cheesy. There's a Texans player that's on the floor. And you don't want to see injuries in football. I'm not sure how many times I have to continually say that. Regardless of what your bias may be, you don't want to see anybody get hurt. His hands, just for decoration. We had another tweet that came in from Austin Brewer. Says, anybody else know about the unicorn Metorn shower? Medern shower? Tonight at 11:50, supposedly to be a very rare and last around the 40 minutes. Last around 40 minutes. Good Lord, I cannot read. What is going on today? It's a real thing. I'm not making this up. Well, I am unaware of this unicorn Metorn shower. I'm unaware of this, but all right. Jeff Peasley says, who will be the next head coach of the Browns? I believe Mike McCarthy comes back to head coaching in Cleveland, but he might have an excellent fit with the Falcons. If I'm Mike McCarthy, I'd take the Falcons job rather than the Browns job. I do believe Freddie Kitchens will be fired, but... And I touch on that in tomorrow's episode of the Hold My Nuggets podcast, episode number 16. And also, because the episode is going to be uploaded tomorrow, you're probably not going to see it. So I want to give you guys a heads up. Well, I should say you're going to see it then, but I want to give you a heads up a day in advance. Myself and Marv Glover, we have made a Hold My Nuggets YouTube channel. Also a Hold My Nuggets Twitter and a Hold My Nuggets Facebook page, along with the Instagram. So from this point moving forward, the last episode in its entirety that will be uploaded to our individual channels will be either tonight on Marv Glover's channel and definitely tomorrow on my channel. But moving forward, the entire episode will be only on the Hold My Nuggets YouTube channel. I will still post snippets week by week, episode by episode, to let you know that we are still doing the podcast. But at the end of every single clip, I will let you know where you're supposed to go. But right now, if you have some time, because we're at a commercial break, subscribe to the Hold My Nuggets YouTube channel. Just type in Hold My Nuggets podcast. It'll pop up. I believe the YouTube channel should be there, but if not, I will put it here in the description, and then you can just head over there and subscribe. And as for the Twitter, Hold My Nuggets _ is the Twitter account, and also on Instagram, Hold My Nuggets, and on Facebook, Hold My Nuggets as well. So feel free to go and subscribe to those channels there. And on 4th and 4 on the field, the punt back to the Texans. Oh wow. Well, great, I guess, awareness for the Colts to stop it before it could get any further back. Well, I should say they should have let it go even further back, but I guess he didn't have any time. Deshaun Watson returning to the field. Slight Geico commercial. And you can save 15% or less by switching to Geico. Let me go over to the link for the Hold My Nuggets podcast page. Oh, I should have this linked here. No, it would have made a great idea to take that thing, my Nuggets channel, so you're able to find it. This is rather bothersome. I cannot. Life of me. Get this. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? Oh no, I can't do it. I'm live right now. 1st and 10. It is from the 14. Handoff to Is that Duke Johnson? No, that's Carlos Hyde. He didn't pick up any yards. Let me send the I'll have to send the channel URL to myself in an attempt to give you guys the link. All right. It's still 2nd and 9. Here we go. We have a subscriber. And it is 2nd and 9. Here we go. Deshaun Watson over a little bit between the numbers and the hash marks to DeAndre Hopkins to move the chains. And I will get you guys the link for the channel. Oh, this is rather annoying. I can't not copy and paste to share. It is 1st and 10 from the 25. There's a timeout. Believe there's a timeout coming from the Houston sideline. Perhaps it was. Either way, I'm going to go to a slight commercial break. I will see you in a minute. And we are back. Take a look in the chat room. You should see the Hold My Nuggets channel that just commented to follow me. I think I just put the channel in there, so you should see it. Should pop up down there. If you don't see it, then I must be playing games with myself on my own phone. But regardless, it's 1st and 10, 4th quarter. Put your fours up. Here come I thought there was a timeout. It was the end of the doggone quarter. I feel like an idiot. Oh, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. 15 minutes left to play in this AFC South matchup. Time has been flying in this game. We're sitting at 1st and 10 and big time hole for Carlos hide and seek, picking up a ton of yards, turning it into the Colts territory down at the 42-yard line. Look at the hole that opened up here. You talk about a run. Look how big that hole was. You kidding me? Optimus Prime wouldn't even have to transform to go through that hole. That was massive. That was gigantic. That's what you want to see if you're a running back in the NFL. You want to see holes like that from your offensive lineman. 1st and 10, handoff to Carlos Hyde. Once again, pickup of 3. But that was a big-time run that he picked up over there, man. That's exactly what they needed. Down by 4, trying to they can't tie up the game. There's no 4-point score. This ain't no, football or NBA street. This ain't the case, all right? You can't just score 4 points. So they can either cut their deficit to 1 or possibly take the lead. In my estimation, I believe they will be taking the lead here. 2nd and 7. For Deshaun Watson, takes the snap, looking towards his left, looks all the way towards Will Fuller. He's able to get the ball within 1 yard of the first down. Ultra Instinct says, do you think Alshon Jeffrey, the anonymous quote from Josina Anderson that talks about Wentz leadership issues for 2 years in a row? Oh, do I think Alshon Jeffrey is the anonymous quote? I cannot say I think he is, but he was a huge supporter of Nick Foles. So this is something that does need to be considered. Handoff on 3rd and 1. The Texans do pick up the first down. They don't stop short. And they're moving the chains to what appears to be the 31-yard line. It's 1st and 10. 13 minutes left to play in the game. Carlos Hyde after getting a huge gain for the Houston Texans to put them in a very positive position at the 30-yard line. This current drive, 6 plays, 56 yards. Pass to Will Fuller once again, but the pass was incomplete. I told you guys coming into this game the dreadlock powers would be on display. I'm not sure what's happening with the Colts regarding T.Y. Hilton and his availability, but last time we saw him on the field, he dropped a damn pass that he should have caught. Pass was a little bit far outside. Sometimes you wake up and you wish that you had that pass back. I'm sure that Deshaun Watson wishes that he had that pass back. Thus far on the game, 16 for 26. And here we go, 2nd and 10 from the 30. Deshaun Watson, 16 for 24, 245 yards, a TD and an INT. He takes the snap from the 30, going towards the end zone. Got DeAndre Hopkins. What a catch. Touchdown, Texans. You kidding me? What I tell you about the dreadlocks? What did I tell you about the dreadlocks? You can't deny it. 30-yard TD strike from Watson to Hopkins. He finds his mother once again, gives her the football. She says, another one for me, baby. That's exactly what transpired. Texans regain the lead. Oh, no, he hands it not to his mother, but to the person next to his mother. She is cheering because somebody whispered in her ear, the roar of the crowd, your son just scored again. Again? Damn right. Your son is something special, mama. Your son is something special. Making these children look like straight up boys on the field. Little boy. Little boy. Look at the route. You could not guard him. You could not guard him. Here, Chronicles 13, verse 7. Can't stop, won't stop. The Lord our God has dreadlocks. He's looking like Steve Smith right now. When you see this face, that means I scored. When you see this face again, that means I scored again. And DeAndre Hopkins, 2 touchdowns on the day, showcasing how good he is. And remember, I told you before the game started, the dreadlock powers was going to be on display, and you see it right here. Aaron Sherwood says, where was the dreadlock powers last week? Well, I wish I knew. All I know is that it's here this week. We can't live in the past. Look at his mama celebrating. Look at his family celebrating, holding it down for the Hopkins family. Doing a sensational job. You got to be kidding me. Let's take one look at what's going on Twitter. Hey, Twitter world. Let's take one look over there. Oh, I'm having a playback. I'm hearing myself. Little boy. Let me see if the comment pops up here. It should pop. Oh, there it is right there. All right. The Hold My Nuggets podcast page. Let me go to the channel. This is the URL for the Hold My Nuggets channel. Do me a favor and subscribe to the Hold My Nuggets channel. Subscribe to the Hold My Nuggets channel, and more importantly, subscribe and follow on Hot Mic. Download the app. I actually have not typed in the comment section the code. Here is your opportunity had you not seen the code. This is the Hot Mic download link. Download it on the App Store. Use the promo code Adonis and watch me live on Hot Mic. In a month, you're going to want to have to download it on your Android phones as well. So we'll be live on iOS, we'll be live on Android, and we'll be live instead of having to listen to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on commentary. You hear the creator of your choice. And we are currently sitting at #1 on Hot Mic. I think we're going to be the first to 500 followers. All right, trying to be the ninja, what ninja was to Twitch, that's what the Chiseled Adonis will be to Hot Mic. What PewDiePie was to YouTube, that's what the Chiseled Adonis is going to be to Hot Mic. What King Batch was to Vine, that's what the Chiseled Adonis is going to be to Hot Mic. And damn it, all of you guys got to play a part in it too. We're on this journey together when we're watching the Texans take a 20-17 lead over the Indianapolis Colts. And I appreciate everybody who subscribed to the Hold My Nuggets channel thus far. You guys are awesome. Mean a lot to me being able to subscribe to said channel. Stay tuned. Tomorrow the next episode of the podcast will be uploaded as well. We're approaching 146,000 subscribers here on YouTube, so we're doing a great job there. One more look at what's happening on Twitter. Couple of messages that have came in as the Texans are ready to punt, or I should say kick the ball back off to the Indianapolis Colts. Let's see. Mr. Anderson says, will we ever see a dreadlock QB in the NFL? Absolutely. It's only a matter of time. Deshaun Dorsey says, who would you rather have on your fantasy team? Nathan Peterman, Nelson Aguilar, or Nick Folk? Definitely Nelson Aguilar. Or Ryan Leaf, Darius Hayward Bay, or Cody Parkey? Probably Ryan Leaf in today's NFL. Matter of fact, no, that's a lie. He turned the football over way too much. Darius Hayward Bay. I think if Darius Hayward Bay played on a team like Kansas City, he'd be a beast. Chaos Reaper 419 says best retired player to never win a Super Bowl, Dan Marino. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Hand off to Williams once again, picks up 6 yards. 2nd and 6 from the 31-yard line coming up. Pardon me. 2nd and 4 from the 31-yard line coming up. Amir Singh says plans for Thanksgiving. I will be going live for the first game. I believe it's the Lions and Bears again, if I'm not mistaken. But the very first Thursday afternoon game on Halloween, on Thanksgiving, I will be live. But then after that, I'm going to be hanging out for Thanksgiving. So I'll be live for that. As for the commentary, I usually do one video, and I would release it the same day. This time around, I will be releasing the Thanksgiving commentary on Black Friday in all three games in one. Let's see. Bill Phillips says, what do you think the Patriots need to do on offense to beat the Cowboys this weekend? For one, utilize that middle of the field. I expect Edelman to have a sensational game. On the ground, I don't expect much from the run game. I don't think Michelle or Burkhead or those guys will really get going. I think the Cowboys linebacking core will not allow that run game to get going. But they are in Foxborough, so who knows? But for the Patriots to win, Watson, Edelman, Dorsett, over the middle. But Dorsett did get hurt. But over the middle. Utilize the middle of the field. They can win that game. But if they continue to try to play from the outside, you're doing yourself a disservice. That's not their game. That is not the Patriots' game. They have to play to their strengths. This Cowboys team can mess around and pull off an upset, but it's in Foxborough, so I'm not sure if that's going to be what's happening. 12-10 left to play. 2nd and 4 from the 31. Jacoby Brissett takes the snap. Hand off to Williams. He picks up a big-time first down, stays on his feet, gets across the 40 to probably the 41. They're going to spot him, although the ball is at the 42. Big-time run, good first down. I think this run should put the Colts over 100 yards on the day. Pardon me, they must have already been over 100. But definitely, this has them over 100 on the day running the football. Hoodie Zay asked me, what are your thoughts on Seth Rollins? Because I used to love his guy, but I feel like that you ruined his career. Correct. I agree that he's burnt out. He's still a hell of a hellacious, performer in the ring, sensational performer in the ring, but he's since burnt out when it comes to his steam. So once they put him and Becky Lynch together, and that was, we're the couple sort of champions thing, it burnt him out. Now he lost his pizzazz. Jacoby Brissett on the day, 15 for 21, 116 yards and a TD. Jonathan Williams, 21 carries, 88 yards and the TD. Eric Ebron, 3 catches and I believe it was 31 yards. Hand off to Williams once again, pickup of 2 yards before his forward momentum stopped. Killer Cam 0714 asked me, will I be doing commentary on the XFL? Perhaps. I did commentary on the AAF, so who knows how that plays out. Seamus Water says, always look forward to your Thursday and Monday night commentary to get get me through work. It's pronounced Sheamus, by the way. I apologize. I called you Seamus. It is Sheamus. Yeah, I think the last time when I was live and I mentioned you, I called you Sheamus. I don't know why I called you Seamus now. That makes no sense. But Jeff Peasley does say, Adonis, can you send your Hold My Nuggets channel link here on because on Hot Mic I tried to search for it on YouTube, but it pops up your channel, and I appreciate it. All right, I got you. I'll put the link on Twitter. At one point, most likely, I'm not sure right now, but I will be putting the link on Twitter. At one point, I'll just post it on the official Twitter. I'm gonna put it on my Twitter tomorrow when we're promoting the episode. But incomplete pass to T.Y. Hilton. That should have been a catch. I don't think there should be any place for a flag on the field. I'm looking at the replay right now. A little bit of hands that's going on. It should have been a catch from T.Y. Hilton. That's entirely on him. There's no flag that should have been called. He's asking himself, what happened to his hands? I agree why there was no call. He should have been able to catch that football. Now what we've seen is T.Y. Hilton make 2 drops. We're seeing the dreadlock powers get him positions to make plays, but he's simply not making plays. But I'll say this much. The feel of this game, T.Y. Hilton's got a big play in him. He's got a big play in him. I feel it in my soul. I'm not sure when it'll happen. I'm not sure how it'll happen, but I'm pretty sure this man's going to make a hell of a play. And he is visibly upset. And he's banging his helmet on the floor. There's a funny joke for all football players who's either played in high school or college. I'm pretty sure you guys can relate. We used to have something that we called bang marks, right? When you have a bunch of scratches, scuffs, or anything on your jersey or your helmet. That means that you were in the game. That means that you were getting things done. That means that you were in practice, hitting each other, and truly putting in that work. So we used to have people who used to ride the bench who would go and they'd scrape their helmets against something or they'd bang their helmets on the floor in order to make it seem like, yo, when I was in the game, I was hitting people. I was getting stuff done. It was a very, very funny situation. But it was always fun. If you guys played high school football, college football, hell, even Pop Warner maybe. I never played Pop Warner, but let me know if you guys can relate with the bang marks and if guys ever did that. I see some people talking about Survivor Series, Team Raw, Team SmackDown, Team NXT. I am rolling with Team NXT on everything with the exception of Sasha Banks because I absolutely love Sasha Banks. I love the Revival too, but I'm not sure if they're doing anything. I have to catch up on NXT. I did not see this past episode, and I heard the Revival tore the house down. Now, nobody has to spoil it, but most likely somebody will spoil it. But yeah, I have to watch that most likely maybe tomorrow afternoon. Somebody said, what about WWE commentary? I cannot do WWE commentary. Their copyright is far too strong. Simply mentioning WWE can mess around and get you copyright struck. So I'll never be able to do WWE commentary. There are channels that can get away with it, but I don't want to risk it. Knowing my history, it'll be clipped within moments. Somebody asked me, is Naruto my favorite anime? No, it is not. My favorite anime is definitely Death Note. Death Note, I'll give you a top 5. Death Note, Dragon Ball Z, Konosuba, One Piece, probably Naruto. I think I'd have to put Naruto at 5. Code Geass was sensational. An anime called Monster was great. Guilty Crown was emotional as hell. But very good animes that are out there. But I'd have to say Death Note is my favorite anime of all time. I never watched an episode of Fairy Tail. Steven Notes, I never watched an episode of Fairy Tail. Hoodie Zay says, I love Mama Hopkins, man. Her energy is crazy, even though she can't see her son playing. It's absolutely magnificent, man. It's absolutely magnificent. You want to have parents that support you the way that they do. Regardless of you being a star or you being a bench warmer, you want somebody who will always be there and be in your corner. And it's the same thing that I mentioned earlier regarding the McCaffrey family, man. It's just beautiful. Even Matthew Slater and his father, it's just beautiful, man. It's what you want to see. It is what you want to see. Big time pickup of yardage for the Texans to set up 2nd and 1 for Carlos Hyde. Handoff once again. He picks up the first down, but it's only going to be 1 yard. Still enough to move the chains, keeping that drive alive. And now that the Texans have the lead, and you're starting to see these holes open, this can be one of those extremely lengthy drives that, if it results in a touchdown, can possibly begin to twist that dagger in the sternum of the Indianapolis Colts. with a 3-point lead and 9 minutes left to play, and yet another player on the ground. They're focusing right now on looking on the sideline at Jonathan Joseph still making plays, although he's elderly, completely disregarding the fact that he could not make the tackle. But hey, you made a decent play late in the game, and this is one of the things that I always found funny about DBs is if a receiver just drops the ball, the DB will get all of the credit, and they'll walk around like, yeah, man, yeah, that's what you get. Don't ever try me like that. But you ain't do nothing. The receiver just dropped the ball now. Don't make it seem like you just did something now. But Killer Cam 0714 says, do you play Madden? 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. I do play Madden. Madden 99, Madden 2006. Although I can't play Madden 2006 no more. I don't think the disc is readable. So most likely Madden 99. As for top 5 wrestlers of all time, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Chris Benoit. But Chris Benoit is number 3. So I'd have to say Rock, Austin, Benoit, Undertaker. I'm forgetting a name. Shawn Michaels. Those are my top 5. Favorite wrestler, like ring technician, Chris Benoit far and beyond. It's not even close. In fact, I can make the argument that Chris Benoit is my favorite wrestler of all time anyway, because I just absolutely love this man. But yeah, he was sensational. Macho Man, I loved Macho Man, but he's not in my top 5. He's not in my top 5. My top 10 will actually round out with Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Booker T. I feel like I just said Booger T. Booker T. Brock Lesnar when he was younger, and Goldberg. Those guys were just hellacious. It was just beautiful to watch, man. It was beautiful to watch. Hell, even Ricky Steamboat was something special. Ric Flair was, in his 80s, you talk about the Four Horsemen, Arn Anderson. When a lot of people have asked me why have I been able to speak, and a lot of people have talked about, yo, why don't you go try out for like the WWE or be a manager or something like that? I used to think about it, but I grew up on the WWF, listening to people like The Rock, listening to people like Stone Cold Steve Austin, listening to people like Triple H. I learned how to speak, and speak at a sort of cadence that I could speak fast, but it's not like I'm just talking fast. I'm saying something. It just happens to come at a very fast pace, but you understand what it is that I'm saying. Then, when I got into my teenage years and I had access to YouTube and everything like that, I started watching the Four Horsemen and listening to, Arn Anderson and Ric Flair. You got to be kidding me. Now, when I deliver stuff home, like, you feel that emotion. Like, even at the end of the what the hell's the pass interference in the NFL, when I'm talking about me going to somebody's house and, pooping in their toilet and not flushing, I can make you truly believe that I'm actually going to go and do it. Now, granted, nobody would really go and do that thing. Why would I pay money to go to somebody's house and go poop in their toilet? DeAndre Hopkins picking up a first down for the Houston Texans, but I learned from wrestling and I learned how to speak. I definitely could be a manager in the WWE or AEW anywhere right now. I can guarantee you that I could be a manager. Give me a live mic, I'll go. Matter of fact, I'm going to the Steelers game December 22nd between the Jets and the Steelers. I'm going to see if I can find Arthur Moats, because I know Bang Bang Steeler Gang will be there. And if I could find them in the pregame, and they'll probably have me on for like an interview or something like that, I will do my postgame and pregame live from the stadium, just so you see how on point I am when it comes to speaking. But we ain't talking about that right now. We're not talking about me. What we're talking about is Carlos Hyde picking up a few yards, and also what we're talking about is being live on the Hot Mic app. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a iPhone, do me a favor, download the Hot Mic app on the Apple Store, use the promo code Adonis, and download the Hot Mic app. It's coming to Android in a month. Also, we have a live chat room over there so you guys can interact with each other. Brand new chat room started tonight. Also, tell your friends about Hot Mic. If they have iPhones, make sure that they download it. Pass tipped and ricocheted into the air, incomplete on 2nd and 6, setting up 3rd and 6 on a crucial 3rd down. Because honestly, let me tell you something right now. If the Texans do not convert, I truly do believe that this ball will go back to the Colts. Well, obviously, it's going to go back to the Colts. What other team is going to be here? It's going to go back to the Broncos. They're not even playing today. No, it's going to the Broncos. And when it gets back into the hands of the Colts, they'll be able to find a way into the end zone. Aaron Wilcox says, do you consider Boondocks an anime? You know what? Perhaps you can. I consider Boondocks a show, and I say it's one of my top 5 favorite shows of all time. So I don't consider it an anime. But you know what? I guess you can. Because anime is not only regulated to just being Japanese. Monster was a German anime, and I absolutely love that. Pass going deep, pass incomplete. There should be a flag for pass interference. There's not. There's no flag on Fells. I need to see the replay for this. This seemed very interesting. Watson took a hit, but I need to see why there was no flag on this play. You know what? I get it. I see why they didn't throw the flag. It makes sense. It was a last second, and the individual in Fells who fell down was about 5 to 6 yards away from the ball, so you could not have passively called pass interference there. It was uncatchable, at least for him. The person who was closer to the ball, he wasn't interfered with. Fair enough. I see Chuck Chisel says the Von Erichs. I love watching the Fabulous Freebirds taking on the Von Erichs. I watched a ton of their clips. Sensational wrestling. The 6-man tag team championship match in 82. Was it 82? Was a magnificent match. Oh my Lord, from start to finish. But it's truly saddening what happened with the Von Erichs. It hurts my soul seeing what transpired with them. And what you're seeing on your screen right now is the all-time team to figure out who is the best running backs in the NFL. And this is going to be very interesting because I saw the 24 candidates for the top 12 running backs in the NFL. And there was one name that was missing that I truly felt disheartened about, was the fact that the omission of Curtis Martin and him not being there. I don't care what you say. I understand why Marshawn Lynch is not there. I get it. I understand why Frank Gore is not there because let's just be honest. I made a comment about this on my Instagram. Frank Gore, when it comes to numbers and a longevity of a career, you cannot ignore how good he was. But when he was in his prime, from I would say 2007 to 2013, there were 3 running backs that were better than him as he went. He played with people like LaDainian Tomlinson, Adrian Peterson, Arian Foster at Arian Foster's peak, Jamal Charles at Jamal Charles' peak, Marshawn Lynch at Marshawn Lynch's peak. Just an amalgam of running backs who at their peak, even Maurice Jones-Drew, that were better than Frank Gore when he was playing. If you look back now, Frank Gore outlasted them and has better numbers. But year by year analysis, you can never say on a consistent basis Frank Gore was a top 3 running back when he was playing. Top 5, yes, but top 3, no. But you can't say that about Curtis Martin. When Curtis Martin was playing, he was an undisputed top 3 running back throughout his entire career. There was no question. When Barry Sanders was there, Emmitt Smith was there. Well, then Barry ended up leaving a little bit, I guess, when Curtis Martin, after like 2 years. But when Curtis Martin hit his prime, I'd have to say about like 98, when he hit his prime, because he came out the gate running for 1,000 yards. But when he came out, he was dogging. Clinton Portis had his moments. All right. Priest Holmes had his moments. Sean Alexander had his moments, but whether those guys were 1 and 2 or LaDainian was 1 and 2 or Jamal Lewis had his thing, Curtis Martin was always top 3, and he's overlooked all the time. Eric Ebron picking up a first down for the Colts. Somebody mentioned Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams, he's a funny story. He had a couple of isolated seasons, but Ricky Williams, Marcus Allen was on the list, I believe. Chris Johnson only had about 3 years, so I can't say that. Shady McCoy, when he was at his peak, better than Frank Gore when Frank Gore was playing. Frank Gore was still playing. I don't know when he was playing, but Shady at his peak was better than Frank Gore. Roger Craig, that's an age, but Roger Craig, I get it. When we talk about all-around backs, you can't deny Roger Craig. In fact, in my opinion, he's the first to do it. He was the first to do the 1,000. But greatest of... Roger Craig's not even in the Hall of Fame for some apparent reason. And I think that's a sham in itself. I don't think Roger Craig is in it. Michael Turner, no. Michael Turner had a couple of seasons, but no, I can't say Michael Turner. There's a little bit of a kerfuffle, a little bit of a skirmish on the field. Roger Craig, I don't believe he's in the Hall of Fame. No, he's not. He should be in the Hall of Fame, though. I'll tell you that much. DeMarco Murray, no. DeMarco Murray had a couple of seasons. We're talking about greatest running backs of all time. All right, but if we're talking about at their peak, Gore was already falling off at that point. Gore's last great season, I think it was like 2013. The year where they went to the Super Bowl, he did well. But then 2013, yeah. Most interesting NFL season. That's a tough one. I'd have to say the 1982 season. You had a kicker that won the MVP. All right, I'd have to say the 82 season. That's hilarious. Ricky Williams' career went up in smoke. I see what you did there. Aaron Sherwood says, "Do you play Smash Bros? If you do, who's your man?" I do play Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Melee. My guy is Ganondorf. That's always been my favorite character in that game. Jim Brown made the NFL All-Time Team. Damn right, Jim Brown did. Him and Belichick are him, Belichick, Chris Collinsworth, a couple of other people are divvying up who should be the top 12. But of course, Jim Brown would be there. In my opinion, Jim Brown. Barry Sanders, Walter Payton. Those are the top 3 running backs of all time. Emmitt Smith is at number 4. And that's no slight on Emmitt Smith because they're all very close. But Barry Sanders was all world. Jim Brown was the first sort of, this guy is ridiculous. And then you can't even ignore Adrian. Well, did I say Adrian? No, Walter Payton was just something special. But I'd say AP and Emmitt Smith round out my top 5. I'm sorry, Marcus Allen. Had Al Davis not do him dirty the way that he did, Marcus Allen could be sitting here as the greatest running back of all time. Go back and watch the football life of Marcus Allen. You'll be blown away how good this man actually was and how they just kept him on the sideline for no reason whatsoever. 3rd and 2 for the Colts. They need a conversion here. Handoff to Williams, picks up the first down. He's at the 50. Team Mario or Sonic? I think I would lean towards Team Sonic. I always loved Sonic. I had all of the games. It was very fun. Dalen Joseph puts 99 cents on it. I truly do appreciate you. I could buy a big bag of chips with that. Deuce McAllister. His body started to weigh on him right before Reggie Bush got drafted, but I can't say it's enough to be on the all-time team. He was good for maybe about, I'd say, 5 seasons. That's not enough. Why is Joe Buck still employed? I wish I knew, but let me tell you something. You can make it seem as if he's not employed. If you download that Hot Mic app, use a promo code Adonis, mute your television, sync the app to your television, and listen to me rather than listen to Troy Aikman and also Joe Buck. 1st and 10, Nyheim Hines went absolutely nowhere on that play. I just wanted to point that out. I forgot to point that out. I'm getting so lost in the conversation about the NFL running backs, and I'm completely overlooking the fact of what's transpiring on the field. But this is one of the things that you get on the Hot Mic. This is one of the things that you get in the Chiseled Adonis stream. This is one of the things that you get in Hold My Nugget Studios, where we talk about everything that you want to talk about. 50-yard line, 2nd and 10. Nyheim Hines once again gets the carry. He's picking up 3 yards on the play, setting up 3rd and 7 from the 47. And Aquante Hunter, is OJ on the all-time team? Absolutely he is. OJ was a beast on the field, man. He used to cut up defenses. I didn't mean to say it. He used to stab up good Lord. Boy, that took a turn. All right, Steven Jackson. Actually, Steven Jackson was very good for a very long time. But on the all-time team, no. But Steven Jackson was very good for a very long time. Pass incomplete. 3 minutes left to play. 4th and 7, all right? From the 47, if I'm Frank Reich, 3 timeouts, I'm punting. You know what? No, I changed my mind. I'm staying on the field. I don't necessarily trust that defense. I'm staying on the field, as you should. And you got 3 timeouts if you mess up. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'd go for it. Let's see if they can force an overtime. Turns out the way things are looking right now, we're not going to get to 34-27, so my score prediction was wrong, but I did see a lot of people who did have lower scoring. I remember seeing a 21-17. I remember seeing a 20-14. I don't recall if I saw a 20-17, but I'm sure I think if I scroll all the way up now. Desmond Edmond put 5 on it. Says putting 5 on for that OJ joke. Well, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. It just came out, man. It just came out. Marley Fishing says, what about the bus? Is he on the list? Absolutely, the bus is on the list. Let's go to Twitter, see what's going on Twitter. Yeah, hey, Twitter world. Bitter Samuel says, Samurai, pardon me, says, all people have known is Undisputed Era versus Revival runs a marathon around the main event roster tag team. Absolutely. Okay, I appreciate you, Amir Singh, for sharing the Hold My Nuggets podcast page on Twitter. That means a lot, man. Dylan Dunn says, did you see my previous comment? I think that I did. If not, I will try to get to it, but it's 4th and 7. I'll touch on it right after this play. From the 47-yard line, Jacoby Brissett takes the snap. He's got some protection. He could take off running if he should. No, it's got contained from the line. There it is. Take off, Jacoby. Take off, Jacoby. He's not going to get it. He stopped short, participating in the Frankenstein challenge. He needed to get to the 40. He got to the 41. They're going to go and review it. They're going to bring out the chains, but it's not enough to move the chains for the first down. It's going to be 2:49 left on the drive, but still, it appears that although it's favorable position for the Texans to take over on downs, it still is quite the distance to go to get into Fairbairn's range at about 37 yards to get into Fairbairn range. Actually, no, because Fairbairn's been playing like a bum, so I don't think that's going to be the case. If I'm the Colts, I'm still feeling good. The fact that I do have 2 timeouts left and the 2-minute warning. So, technically, they have 3 timeouts. All it takes right now is stop the run, but they cannot fall asleep and allow the play action fake to get them, because I do believe what's going to happen is Bill O'Brien will run the ball on first down, play action fake on second, and then run on third. However, if anything, play action fake on first, then run on second and third. But here it comes. There's the, oh no, it's going to keep to Watson. He's going to only pick up 5, but that's 5 nonetheless. Bring it to the 45-yard line, 2:41 left to play. I'm not sure why the Colts are not calling timeout. I guess they want to conserve that beforehand. This was a missed tackle in the backfield by another man with dreadlocks from the Colts. Aquante Hunter puts 5 on it, once $4.99. Says, hey, can you do a poll on Twitter to see if people want you to do a Survivor Series and War Games live review? That's funny. But I don't think it'll be able to happen. I would have loved to do it. Most likely in the when football season's not happening, perhaps I can. We'll see. And I'll go live as, we're watching on the network. But on 2nd down and 6, a pickup of 2, and we're going to the 2-minute warning. Two timeouts left for the Colts. Now for this, the Texans pick up a first down. They have a chance to put the game away. But as for War Game Survivor Series review, it's not going to happen, because since it's on Sunday, at least for Survivor Series, I can't do it. Saturday for War Games, who knows? Who knows? Maybe if I'm home, but I'm not sure if I will be. No, I'll be watching War Games. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go live or not. It really does depend. Who knows? I'll keep you guys posted. Back to Twitter we go. Dylan Dunn says, did I see his previous comment? Let me scroll to see what it is. Okay, personal opinion. Who's the GOAT, Breeze or Brady? I still have Peyton Manning, but if we're going between Breeze and Brady, I'd have to lean towards Brady because he's way more accomplished. I do think that Breeze is the better quarterback. But Brady, I'd have to lean towards Brady in the case of Brady versus Breeze. But I still say Manning is the greatest quarterback to have ever played the game, because I understand the playoff choking. I get it. I truly do get it. When we talk about just sheer, not your mixed talent with the football IQ and the on-field product, Manning by far. Right now, when it comes to just the greatest ability at quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Dan Marino, and then it starts to fall from there. Because they are something all-worldly. People always get upset when they talk about Aaron Rodgers being the greatest quarterback of all time. They're not only talking about from accomplishment standpoint. You have to look at how this man plays the game of football. It's damn near orgasmic. It's beautiful. Let's see. What else did we have? Let me go back to the questions at the top. Just catch up on these tweets. Deshaun Dorsey says, best anime you should watch is Boku no Pico. I'm not falling for that. You're not going to get me with that. That guy Dean, do you watch AEW? I only caught a couple of episodes. And mostly I just catch up on YouTube. Hoodie Zay says, I can make an argument Adam Cole is the best wrestler in WWE right now. Don't at me. You are correct. You literally can. Hoodie Zay also says Avatar is an anime. I don't care what anybody says. And I watch Avatar. The Last Airbender, and also I think it was Legend of Korra is the name. All I know is it's Korra. I watched both of those in 1 month. Very, very good. I think Korra. I like the original Avatar better than Korra. Korra was cool though. But Bit of Samurai says, where do you watch or where do you place Bret Hart versus Chris Benoit match for the memory of Owen in my list of wrestling matches? Good Lord, I'd have to go back and watch that match. I remember I watched it maybe 2 years ago, but I wish I could give you an answer. I can't give you an answer right now. Josh Moses says, have you seen Rising of the Shield Hero? No, I have not. 3rd and 4, straight out of the 2-minute warning from the 47-yard line for Deshaun Watson and the Texans. He takes the snap. He's got a man over the left-hand side. He connects with Will Fuller, moving the chains to the 41-yard line. The Colts are going to be forced to utilize those timeouts now. Now, on first down, they're not going to use it because they recognize that the Texans will probably bring the play call all the way, the play calling, or I should say the play clock all the way down to about 1 second before they take the snap. So they'll have about a minute and 12 seconds remaining. And then, oh no, the Colts did use their timeout. All right. They should have did it immediately after the play. So it'd be 150. 4 seconds is big in football. But back to Twitter we go, where we have Dylan Dunn says, I had to step away for a minute. Did you see my comment on the GOAT? I just responded to that. Brother. Jeff Peasley says, do you think that the Ravens can get the number 1 seed and stay or stay at the number 2 seed? I think the Ravens will get the number 1 seed. Well, actually, no. I think the Patriots will stay with the number 1 seed. Yeah, I think the Patriots will stay with the number 1 seed. The Ravens got 2 more losses in them, and the Patriots at max have 2 more losses in them. So I think the Patriots will get the number 1 seed. Let me see. Peasley sends me a link from Myles Garrett's response. I can't really touch on that right now. 1 yard gain for Carlos Hyde. He's going to set up 2nd and 9. Dylan Dunn says, greatest receiver of all time. That's not even a question. Jerry Rice by far. He's not even. There's not even. When you talk about greatest receivers of all time and you make a list, Jerry Rice isn't even number 1. He's on a whole different list. So when you say, okay, there's T.O., there's Steve Largent, there's Randy Moss, there's Chris Carter, there's Larry Fitzgerald, there's Art Monk. There's Don Hudson. Those guys, they're on a whole separate. Jerry Rice is a whole separate list. Nobody used Stickum for the first 3 years of his career. Jerry Rice is in an atmosphere of his own. It's disrespectful to even have the conversation to think anybody is better than. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's unfair to even have the conversation. Jerry Rice by far. It's not even like when we talk about greatest running backs of all time. There's a conversation. For receiver, it's not even close. Deshaun Watson looking to pick up the first down. He's going to be stopped at the 35, setting up third. Oh, my Lord, did he lose the football? The referees say he's down. The Colts say they have the football. Let me take a look to see exactly what transpired. He was running. He was still up. The ball came. No, I can't. No, it looks like he tried to take the ball out after the fact. I'm not sure. Let's see from a different angle. There's Deshaun Watson following behind his blocker. The ball is, oh my Lord, the ball's coming loose. He might have fumbled on the play. I think there's Butterfingers that's being ate. There's a little bit of a cold in NRG Stadium because he's coughing up the football. I'm pretty sure this is Colts ball. This is Colts ball. I've changed my mind. That football is out. That football is loose. It's going back to Indianapolis. Damn it, they've got a chance. Adam Vinatieri, start warming up your leg because you can force overtime. Good Lord in heaven. That's a fumble on the play. This man didn't even have full possession. Is that Darius Leonard? He didn't even have full possession. Are you guys serious? You're not going to thank the Lord they're reviewing it. You've got to be kidding me. The snap almost got off, and the referees did not go to review it. There's a timeout from the Texans? I don't believe there's a timeout from the Texans. This would have to be the final timeout from the Colts. This is literally a fumble. There's no way you guys can't go to the review here. What is going on? It is 3rd and 3. It's a clear fumble. There's no way they're not about to. Oh, my Lord in heaven. They're not going to review it. They're not going to review it. There was a stoppage just now. They have to. I am perplexed. I am flummoxed. There is no possible ways if it says no review right now. They're not showing me the replay, so it's brought me to believe that they're not reviewing this call. Frank Reich is speaking with the referees to make sure they go upstairs to New York. Why is there not getting a call to the referees to review this play? This should be a reviewable play. I'm not understanding this. I am shocked. There's a stop from the Colts to stop the tape, but they're out of timeouts. There's no timeouts remaining. Time is just gonna run. All the Texans have to do on this upcoming snap is take the snap and run backwards. You've got to be kidding. Oh my Lord in heaven. They did not go to the review. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I'm speechless. I can't believe it. These refs, you've got to be kidding me. Nobody in New York seen this? All the Texans have to do is just take the snap and run backwards. That's literally all they have to do. Somebody just has to sacrifice stats and this game is over. How is there no review on that? You've got to be kidding me. They did not. You've got to be. What in the world? It's under 2 minutes. The coaches cannot challenge, but how? The referees could not possibly have made that judgment and say it's not under review. They can get a phone call from upstairs that says they must go and review the call. More importantly, Al Riveron in New York is watching the game as we go. He can put in the input to say, yo, there's a reviewable call. This makes no sense. How is that not a fumble? That is a fumble. The ball came loose before he was down. I cannot envision a circumstance in which this is not a fumble in 99% of 100 games. This is ridiculous. The Colts have just been screwed. Not to say that they would have gotten the ball back. Not to say that they would have went down the field and scored on a field goal and even up the score. Not to say that they would have scored a touchdown and took the lead. But damn it, they should have been given the opportunity. That was a fumble on the play. Any Texans fan who's non-biased will watch this game and say, dude, the Texans just got away with one. Oh my Lord in heaven, the Colts screwed the Colts. In the case of Vince McMahon, that's what he'd say. Shout out to you in the chat room. 100 Amitty done said that thing. You've got to be kidding me. Zion Blade puts $2 on and says, what's a fumble in the NFL? It's a ref game. You've got to be kidding me. Ball was thrown all the way into the air. Pass incomplete. Game is over. In favor of the Texans, taking a lead in the AFC South over the Colts. But let me tell you something. I've got a salty taste in my mouth because of what I just saw. I'm not a fan of how this game just ended. I'll tell you that much. I am starting to feel a little bit infuriated. Frank Reich should be up in arms and pissed off. I would throw my glasses at every single official that is there. I would take my glasses apart. I would pull off one side. I'd throw that at one official. I would take out the lens. I'd throw it at another official. I'd take out the other lens. I'd throw it at another official. And I'd take the entire remaining frame and discus throw it at the other official. You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be. Deshaun Watson knows he just got away with one. They just got screwed on national television. I cannot believe they did not go to the review. You've got to be kidding me. In what world, in under 2 minutes, is there a timeout? There was a timeout from the Texans. There was literally a timeout. That gives you all of the reason to go back and review. The replay was still playing. You could see it was a clear fumble, and they did not go and review it. I am shocked. I am absolutely shocked. The Colts got robbed. Extortion, embezzlement. This was terrible outing to end the game. I am perplexed. I'm literally over here. As the young people would say, I'm literally shaking. I can't believe what's just happened. I don't understand what just happened. What in the world just happened? Adam Vinatieri's on the sideline thinking back to what happens when he was at the War of Gettysburg, or the Battle of Gettysburg, and thinking, back in my day, we didn't have instant replay, but referees knew what was happening. Although I can't speak about 1978 when the Oilers had the touchdown to Mike Renfro. He got both the feet down, but then again, the referees didn't see anything. The people watching at home saw the instant replay. They saw he got the 2 feet down. It should have been a touchdown against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Championship, but we ain't talking about that right now because I was born in the 1800s. But damn it, they should have gave the Colts an opportunity to at least get the football back. I understand if you want to go and review it and then, have some sort of ASA 7, ASA 8, ASA 9 review to say, well, I don't feel as if he fumbled. But you're not even going to review at all? Are you serious? Al Riveron, I would like a personal meeting with this man to figure out exactly what is the mindset with these referees. What is the mindset with these officials? Because there is no possible way in which this does not go to the booth. In under 2 minutes, the coaches are barred from challenging. You see a controversial call on the field. You rule it down. You going to review it literally does no harm to the game whatsoever, because you are required, or I should say obligated, to review questionable calls inside 2 minutes. Now, granted that you have to do it for every single call, but in this game deciding, look at what just happened. Because you did not review it, the clock continued to run. There was a timeout. All they had to do was run. Now that the Colts had no timeouts, literally 2 plays, the game is over. I'm shocked. I am shocked. Wow. Let's go to Twitter, see what the people are talking about. David Wilson asked. David Wilson II asked me, "What do I think the Steelers' records will be with Big Barn? What would it be if Big Barn was playing this year? If Big Ben was playing this year, I think the Steelers they probably still lose to the Seahawks. They beat the 49ers. They beat the Ravens, regardless of how, because that Ravens game was ridiculously close and it was just a couple of throws away. I think there's a completely different game in that particular game. I think they beat the Browns for sure because Big Ben owns the Browns. So you just take those 3 losses away. Now they're sitting at 8-2. I think the Steelers would be a completely different team because Steelers go on a run every single year where they win at least 6 games. This year it appears that their peak win streak will be 4. So that consecutive year, I think 3-year span of winning at least 6 games, that's gonna snap. But I'd say they'd be 8-2 right now. Yes, yeah. Jeff Peasley corrected him. He said, "You mean Big Ben, Big Barn." Jamal Adonis, what are your thoughts on WWE refusing to acknowledge the career of Chris Benoit following the incident? I understand. I get it. I get why you don't want to acknowledge him, but don't act like the man never existed. When you're talking about WrestleMania 20, just saying that Chris Benoit beat Shawn Michaels and Triple H to win the championship doesn't mean that you supported the fact that he allegedly killed his family. That just, I find that to be asinine. Just trying to act as if somebody doesn't exist because you don't support with what they did, I think that's foolish. To sit over here every single Royal Rumble and say, 2 people have won from the number 1 slot. Oh, Shawn Michaels won. And then act like, yeah, we can't name this other person. Just mentioning his name, it's not going to trigger people. Like, I think that's ridiculous, the fact that they don't mention him. I think that bothers me. No, not mention. Like, you don't have to mention him, but don't acknowledge the fact that the man existed. Like that's stupid. On the WWE Network, for his when he has matches, or if you look back at the older games, you're gonna mean to tell me that you can't timestamp his match because you don't even want to associate his name with anything? Like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, come on now. Amid Karmi says, "Am I excited that CM Punk is back?" I am. I miss listening to that man on the microphone. Everybody on Twitter is buzzing, man. How the hell was there no review? And you know what's funny? The top comment on my last video regarding when I was asking individuals for, submissions for what the hell is a pass interference in the NFL, somebody said, the next video will most likely be what the hell is a fumble in the NFL. This is just egregious. I cannot believe that the referees would engage and embark on such an unscrupulous act. Like, this is damn near Machiavellian. Like, I'm not understanding how the hell you don't call to review that call. I'm shocked. I'm bothered. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep comfortably. I probably will be in like 30 minutes, but this is very bothersome. I'll say that much. That last drive was just absolutely ridiculous. I agree with you, Andrew, on Twitter. I agree with you. That last drive was ridiculous. How the hell could the referees not have reviewed the fumble? They're participating in the Stevie Wonder Challenge. Absolutely. It was the same group from the refs that reviewed the Rams and Saints. Wow, I did not know that. Somebody needs to check to make sure, just to see what that'll be like. And David Winston also asked me, how do I feel about the Colin Kaepernick workout situation? I made a video about it. Go to my YouTube page and you can listen in to hear my video. I'm also talking about it on the Hold My Nuggets podcast, episode 16, tomorrow. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you guys know this has been your 2019 NFL Week 12. Thursday night football game highlight commentary live from Hold My Nuggets studios in a very peculiar studio at that. A little sketchy. But between the Colts traveling to Houston to take on the Texans, that had a very controversial finish. But I hope you truly did enjoy the stream. Everybody on YouTube, I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in as long as you did. We were looking at on the day, I think we were averaging about 250 that we had in here. So it was a very intimate crowd that we had in here, but I'm glad that guys enjoyed the stream and stayed as long as you did. If you didn't hit that like button, hit that like button. If you did not subscribe or follow me on Hot Mic and you have an Android, or pardon me, you have an iPhone, download the Hot Mic app. Use the promo code Adonis, and then the next time I go live on Monday night for Monday Night Football, you can be ahead of the curve and listen to me live on Hot Mic. This time around when we get started, I won't be delayed because I'll be in my original studio, so we can that'll be fun. But all in all, this ending was rather bothersome. But we'll go down the list and shout out all of the individuals who were in the room. First and foremost, everybody who live tweeted me, I appreciate you for tuning into the stream on YouTube. Leon, Chris. I'm just gonna go with the first names. I'd love to say the last name, but I'm just for the sake of time, so I can get to everybody. Leon, Chris, 200 Mar, Desmond, Willie, Will. I did just because it's 2 W's. Saul, DJ the Kid, Levi, Amar, Snowbeam, Tommy Griffin Jr., Hobo Steve, Little Bray Bray, BGX Rebirth. All of you guys who's in the comment section, everybody on Hot Mic who tuned into the stream, tuned into the game. If you have not followed me, consider following me. We're doing this twice a week, every Monday, every Thursday. I'll keep you guys updated when I am going live. You will know beforehand, and stay tuned till that Android gets the app. Once they do, I can't wait for how fun these things are going to be. It's going to be even more fun than it was before. Colts Nation, very tough way to end your birthday, brother. I'm sorry about that. You have 32 minutes left in your birthday. Find a way to live it up, but this is a tough, salty taste in the mouth. I'm sorry that you guys did lose the way that you did lose, but once again, happy birthday to Colts Nation in the chat room. Stephen Oakes, shout out to you. Caden, RJ Hart, Chaos Reaper, 200 Mar again, Hayton Nate, Kaz Bias? I wish I could pronounce that. Kamari, the Comic Genius, always showing love. Jose Cruz, Kyle, always showing love. Kyle been around for a long time. Chevy Boy, 99491. Every single one of you guys, I truly do appreciate you. And I'll catch you guys on the latest stream, or I should say the next stream. Stay tuned for the commentary for this game. Tomorrow I will be ripping the NFL for the no call. I expect to DeAndre Kidd, Alex Barron, and I think I'll probably call out 3 more before I get off the stream. But on Twitter, everybody who tweeted me on Twitter, everybody who tuned in on Hot Mic, Hoodie Zay, shout out to you as well. Desmond Edmond on Twitter as well. Aaron Lloyd, I did not mention you, but I'm mentioning you now. I appreciate you, Tommy Griffin. Once again, 200 more as always. Levi Wright, Ultra Instinct as well. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in. I'm about to go and catch some Z's. Stomach still feeling a little bit weird, but regardless, this has been great. And I guess I'll close it out in style. This has been your 2019 NFL Week 12 Thursday Night Football game highlight commentary live from Hold My Nugget Studios, where we saw the Indianapolis Colts end in a loss against the Houston Texans, where we were live on Hot Mic, responding to tweets on Twitter, and we were live on YouTube, and you were listening to your favorite commentator, not Joe Buck, no, not Troy Aikman, but the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. This was fun. I will catch you guys on the next stream. Enjoy the rest of your night.